the fact that we're all focusing on the wrong thing when we talk about birth certificates and the age of these guys. Well, last week they're 30-pluses, mixed with a bit of youth and some new players coming in. Ed Allen gets his opportunity to start today. Interesting with Lipinski starting on the bench. But again, that's the confidence they have in their squad and guys to be able to play the roles. Jack Crisp steps up last week in the absence of Pendlebury and behind the ball they cover for Maynard. Moore goes out today, which is the challenge because you're right. Adelaide number one attack, aren't they? That's right. And without Darcy Moore today, the safety blanket goes away for a player like Billy Frampton, who we know is going to have a massive job on Phil Thorpe today. So really looking forward to it. And I'm with you a bit. The question mark still on the Crows' defence, back six, both team defence and then their personnel in that back six. Can they stand up under pressure, under weight of opportunity from the other team? So that's what Matty Nix will be challenging his team with today. But I think you're right. Those players they've added, I think James Peatling's been a huge story this year. He's been outstanding. Isaac Cummings, another one. It's just meant that that you talk about teams' bottom sixes for the Crows. They're not carrying guys anymore. There's some real integrity of selection. Brodie Smith can't find his way back into the team at the moment. The young top 10 draftee hasn't been able to see Draper. Hasn't been able to cement his spot in the team. So that talks to a really good, strong squad. They're healthy. No changes this week. I like the sound of that. So I think it's a real test for Collingwood today as well because the Crows, we know, don't fear this team. Okay, the numbers don't look great, win-loss, but they like playing here. They like the open expanses at the MCG. Neil Bullen's the other one that I wanted to mention as well. His impact on the team in terms of the role he plays. So all across the ground today, really great, really exciting matchups. I think the weather will hold off, even if it doesn't. We know the MCG holds up really well unless we get a big downpour. And I think the focus will be on, are they too tall? The Crows fall to the ball. I think it's one of those days where maybe the big guys don't get any smaller. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Long lines out the front. They're already filling up right at the very back of the grandstand. So despite the fact it is cold and wet.
It's really busy outside.
Is it?
Yeah. Really, really busy.
So it's still only a dozen degrees the way it is at the moment. So it feels like our first proper sort of winter's day with a couple of weeks out from the season proper.
Yeah, they're expecting in excess of 70,000 here today. I must admit, moving over to Melbourne a couple of years ago, one of my early reactions to footy in Melbourne. It rained all afternoon. Richmond and Collingwood, they got 95,000 on the Friday night. I thought, gee whiz, whatever the weather, they show up here. If that was in Perth, you would have got 35,000.
So Doug Nicholls round, of course, custom Guernseys for both these teams. The Crows will be wearing a jumper designed by former player Graham Johncock, alongside artist Auntie Christine Schooner. Now the Guernsey tells Johncock's life story, including his youth, growing up on the west coast of South Australia and playing his juniors at Mallee Park before being drafted to the Crows in the year 2000. The features of the design include a tribute to Johncock's late mother in the form of a large crow, which you can see in the centre of the jumper, which is predominantly red. The crow is in blue. The club's wearing white shorts today. It's also got the footprints representing Johncock's journey to the Crows. The past and present Indigenous Crows are represented with symbols on the Guernsey, while sea creatures such as the blue swimmer crab and butterfish represent regions of South Australia's west coast. The Guernsey, of course, for Goona will be worn as well in the AFLW and the SA NFLW sides across the weekend.
And just quickly, the Pies jumper today. So this is designed by First Nations artist Lisa Thorpe, inspired by some of her artwork, which represents the law of the land. So this is due to celebrate culture, unity and country. There are a number of different aspects of the jumper. While it still resembles Collingwood's traditional home jumper, there are spear shapes. There are also some little footprints that work their way up and down the black and white stripes. So Lisa Thorpe's design for the Collingwood jumper today.
Welcome to Country is only moments away. Uncle Colin is out there ready to go for that. We're 7 minutes from the bounce and we can take you to the formalities.
Welcoming our Uncle Colin Hunter Jr.
I want to start by acknowledging that this afternoon we are meeting on the lands of my ancestors, the Wurundjeri people. And I'd like to take this opportunity to pay my respects to my elders, both past, present and emerging, elders from all nations, but I particularly want to pay my respects to everyone gathered this afternoon. But I always like to acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us. I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to them also. Woman Jekka, welcome. Warrenjerry Bullock, Yimikondi Bick. The Wurundjeri people welcome everyone to land today. Warrenjerry, no, Bunambor War, Condi Nengnuck, Dubin and Bick, Bullock, Bor, Chillican. The Wurundjeri people want to look after and protect the land as they did long before. Warrenjerry country extends from the inner city of Melbourne. It goes across the mountain to the Great Dividing Range, west to the Werribee River, south to the Mordialloc Creek and east to Mount Baw. And the Wurundjeri people are part of the Kulin Nation and of the Wawong language group. And while on Wurundjeri country, you're welcome to the traditional lands and the waterways of the Wurundjeri people. So Wominjeka, welcome, enjoy the game. Thank you.
A big thank you, everyone, and enjoy the game.
So that is the welcome to country. Two teams just pausing for a moment, waiting to see if there was something to follow, but that is it, as they were lined up almost reminiscent of a national anthem on the broadcast wing for Uncle Colin's welcome to country. We're at the mighty MCG. It is a dark and gloomy day and somewhat feels appropriate on what is really a tragic day to wake up to in the football world after the footy world was rocked after the sad passing of Adam Selwood overnight after his brother Troy, of course, left us back in February. Adam, his twin, departing too overnight. And our thoughts, of course, and our sympathies absolutely with the Selwood family today and with the entire football world who knew him so closely. This is AFL Saturday. This is Saturday footy rather on AFL Sport on AFL. How am I going? Saturday footy on ABC Sport is what I'm trying to get out. The SMS number throughout the afternoon is 0437 774 774. There's no late change at the G. There's a cold and wet day ahead of Collingwood and Adelaide with Lipinski and Sam Berry, the two subs. Ray Chamberlain is with us on the boundary this afternoon in his usual spot, the 300 game AFL umpire. Good afternoon, Ray.
Good afternoon, Corbin. It is. I've been listening to Ballie's weather predictions, and I too, as I sit out here in amongst the elements, can confirm there will be no more rain today because I won't endure it. So no, the ground looks magnificent. The umpires are bouncing in warm up. I think you'll find the surface water will dry up and we're going to get a banging game.
It's been a big week for your brethren, Ray. The umpires, obviously Simon Meredith was involved in that game over at Perth last week. He's out there again today, so all four umpires going at it again this weekend. What were your observations of the events and how it was handled across the week?
Yeah, look, it's been a big week. The umpiring group, Corbin, are an integral part of the game, and without them, quite frankly, mate, the game can't be played. And I think it would be reasonable to suggest that they've never felt more disconnected in the way in which the sport's administered and the way in which they're treated. And, the kicker about this is the AFL is an organisation, and any organisation knows that you've got to ensure that your people are safe, they feel respected, valued, that they're tooled and educated and supported in a manner where they can go about what they do. And when you don't do that to your people, they become disenfranchised. And, look, the AFL's a professional organisation. They've got responsibilities to all of their staff to keep them safe and supported. And I think this week demonstrates that potentially they're missing the mark.
Do you think full-time umpires would help the situation, Ray?
I absolutely believe that to elite performance requires a certain amount of time, resources, to be implemented and put in, week out, day out to provide elite performance. Now, people listening at home, they go full-time, that's 40-plus hours a week, right? That's the lens. Players have contact hours in the mid-20s at Clubland. That's sort of where it sits. And the umpires, whilst they don't have that level of contact hours in at the AFL, they do put in significant hours throughout the week. I do feel as though they need to be resource supported and remunerated in a manner that allows them to afford the time every week, every day to be the best that they can be. The game demands it, the game deserves it.
Ray, appreciate your insights as always. We'll hear from you throughout the afternoon.
Thanks very much, guys.
We've got the coin toss coming up in just a moment. Braden Maynard is the skipper today in the absence of Darcy Moore, so the leadership responsibilities shared after Nick Dacos did it earlier in the year, and the three First Nations players involved in the game are also there for the exchange of gifts as well. So Bobby Hill for Collingwood, and of course Wayne Miller and Isaac Rankin for the Crows, and Jordan Dawson is there as well, their regular skipper. And Bobby Hill points towards the goals at the city end of the ground, so winning the toss and deciding to kick to the Ponsford stand end. Two players today in particular, both had hard tags last week, both nullified. Nick Dacos for the Pies, Jordan Dawson for the Crows. Do we see it again? And if so, who gets the big job?
I'll start with Dacos, and I think maybe Saligo.
Okay.
Might be the one.
Peatling's the other one. Saligo's going to start on the bench, so we'll see. It might be Peatling. I think he's probably tended to play more of a defensive midfield role, albeit he's won his own ball this year. I think he's been a fantastic addition. So I think he didn't really give it away. Matty Nixon, he alluded to the fact that they can't let Nick Dacos run around and get 40, high 30, 40 possessions today with the impact he has on the game. And Jordan Dawson, well, the Pies haven't been doing that too much, have they? Yeah. Maybe it's a Jack Crisp sort of an on and off type role. We'll keep an eye on that. But I think the beauty of Adelaide this year, they haven't been reliant on Dawson. He's had a solid year. He hasn't reached the heights of last year, I don't think, but he hasn't needed to, such as the support that they've had from the likes of Peatling and Cumming. So we'll keep an eye on it. It looks like Peatling's going to go and start next to Nick. So really looking forward to this. I think the Crows can get him today. I think the Pies, just coming back from Perth, okay, they've got a couple of experienced players back, but I think they match up really well, and especially forward of the ball without Darcy Moore. I think maybe a bit of an emotional hedge, but I think the Crows in a close one for me.
Crisp stands alongside Dawson. Peatling goes to Dacos, and we're ready to go. A test of the Crows' legitimacy. It is Guana, Adelaide up against Collingwood.
Cameron and O'Brien, neither decisive. McCreary starting in the middle, hacks it forward there for the Pies into the attacking pocket. Back there, Butts runs it straight out, and the umpire says spin it in. Gee whiz, gathered it about 3 metres in from the boundary line.
Love that from McCreary. No mucking around, just sink the slip into it early, take the yards. Ground will be a little bit greasy early on. Forward stoppage.
Forward 50 stoppage here for the Pies. O'Brien wins the tap down. Side bottom gathers. Back pocket for the Pies. Handball to Sullivan. Forward pocket for the Pies. Handball to Sullivan to Elliott. Away towards Quaynor. Gives it off to Allen. Floats a kick to full forward. Getting back there, Dawson. The skipper for the Crows. He marks it fullback. No score yet. We've played 45 seconds. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Had only 14 last week with Miles Bergman for company in the showdown. The kick from Dawson up to the wing. Little fumble from Houston towards Pendlebury. Jams it forward for the Pies, but turns it over, and Dawson again has it. Of course, the last time Dan Houston played against Adelaide was the Isaac Rankin bump.
Yeah, and they need a bit of a lift from him too, the Pies. Dan Houston hasn't really found anywhere near his best form so far this year.
Worrell with the hand pass received, kicks down to Houston, who punches it away but can't clear it. Walker kicks it inside 50. Frampton knocks it back to the corridor. Dangerous ball collected by Nankervis. Courtney Allen tackle holding the ball. Free kick for Collingwood at centre half back. No score through the first 90 seconds. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Ed Allen, the son of Ben, 98 games for the Hawks, 47 for the Fremantle Dockers as he kicks to the back pocket. And there is Houston. A few jeers from the Crows fans. Half-back flank. Kicks the red footy up towards the wing, and Keane again. He marks, he picks up where he left off with an intercept mark, and this time on the wing. That critical mark in the showdown last week. Sends the Crows inside 50, and Howe, intercept mark of his own, wins it back for the Pies. 40 out from their defensive goal. No score through the opening 2 minutes.
How was that not 50 ball?
I think we had the same reaction.
Jesus, Fogarty just decided to stand the mark, and yet he was about 3 metres over the mark, and not only that, locked up to the Collingwood player to slow him down, and Jeremy Howe, the umpire standing right on the spot, didn't have an issue with it. Elliott, off the back flank, kicks down the wing. No mark, spills down to Rankin. He's clipped high, and a free kick for the Crows here.
Started in the centre bounce, Rankin, alongside McCreary, so two of those mid-forward type players getting some centre bounce time.
Rankin down to half forward. Walker trying to mark from the back over the top of Houston. Can't do so. Close to the boundary line. Keys kept it alive momentarily, and then the hand pass from Sullivan ends up out of play anyway.
Houston ran it. And it can take a bit of time going to a new club, but suggestions this week that Collingwood's more chaotic style of game mightn't be as suited to Dan's more sort of control, kick mark type of game. Just keep an eye on it, but they need a lift from him today.
Cameron and O'Brien. O'Brien, the big ruckman, tries to soccer it forward, trips on the ball, goes to ground, the ball spits out back boundary side, and it's not coming out of there. A ball up, and it might be one of those days in which we get a lot of these.
Gee, it looked a bit awkward, didn't it?
Yeah.
Slipping on the footy, the 2 metre tall ruckman going crashing down.
Slightly uncoordinated as Sullivan emerges with the football. Gets a handball moving forward for the Pies. Membry over the top of it. Hatches an egg. Comes out. Nick Dacos. Gang tackled. Gets out a handball. Crisp for the Pies. Knocks it on. Pinched by Butts. He knocks it out to Peatling. Half-back flank here for Guana. That's the Crows. Gives it off to Dawson. Kick up to the wing. O'Brien gets a hand in. Loose footy on the logo.
Still live. Socket away by Keys. Up over halfway, but Quaynor picks it off for the Maggies. Goes back towards Maynard. Hurried kick down the wing for Collingwood. Bouncing footy will turn out all right. Elliott collects 70 from home. Just doinks a kick inside 50, and Membry takes the mark right on the 50.
Yeah, clever, wasn't it? You know you're in good form, you see him okay. That ball cleared about 6 players into the hands of Jamie Elliott.
Comes inboard to guess who? It's Dan Houston. No one stands the mark from outside 50. Houston's rocket is the first goal of the day. And a little reminder to the Adelaide faithful of just who he is. Dan Houston, the former Port Adelaide footballer, still in black and white, now at the Magpies. And it is Collingwood with the opener. 1 straight 6. Adelaide yet to score. 5 minutes in. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, that's a little bit of confidence there. I think that Dan Houston obviously needs. So, we saw that so regularly at Port Adelaide, where he was able to sneak down and outside 50, really kick those long goals. So you can see his teammates there get around Dan Houston after that goal. And all you need sometimes is it's just a little bit of confidence. Like, we know Dan Houston's a good player. He's an All-Australian. So when we talk about he's not going well, he's not going to the standards that he was as an All-Australian player. So I think that's only around the corner for a good player like him.
O'Brien, a clean tap onto it quickly. Rankin and Philthorpe. Leads up and marks 48 metres out. Slight angle to the left.
Just elite centre bounce work, and Nick Dacos just made a little mistake there, and I watched him. He chastised himself, just letting Isaac Rankin get goal side. Nice hit from O'Brien into space, and doesn't need too many looks at it. Isaac Rankin kicking inside 50. He's the one, or one of the ones you want the ball in the hands of.
This is a star on the rise. Riley Philthorpe sends it on goal and tugs it slightly just to the right-hand side. Minor score to begin for Adelaide. Collingwood 1 straight 6. Adelaide 1 behind. We've played 6 minutes. Opening term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Here we go. Corridor opens up as Howe goes long down the middle. Long spills the mark. Regathers. Hand pass over to Bobby Hill. He's out. Kicks deep into the forward line. Elliott takes the mark. And that is smooth transition footy from the kick out at fullback to a mark in the forward pocket for Collingwood.
We're loving the set plays from kickouts this year, aren't we? A lot of teams really trying to deploy some sort of tactic. It's terrific. Doing it effectively too. We know it's the least source of scoring, but that was brilliant.
Elliott across the body. Misses near side or behind. 1-1 to 1 behind. 7 minutes in. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Collingwood by 6.
It's been really noticeable tactically, hasn't it? A lot of teams trying to employ, and a lot of the time it involves most players going to one side and opening up the corridor, and that was a magnificent kick to Long.
Pies leading by a goal. Worrell with a long kick in the mark, taken by Philthorpe. Comes infield with his kick for Dawson. Defensive point of the square. Gives it off to the running carrier. Kick up towards half forward. Unable to mark it there is Josh Dacos, and a free kick to be taken by Peatling. Peatling comes infield with his kick to Millerer. Middle of the MCG. He'll send it into the pocket looking for Walker. Howe jumps in front. Intercept marks again. And he'll move the Pies quickly out to the southern wing for Membry.
Imagine we'll see a bit of that today with no Darcy Moore and being able to zone off and take some intercept marks. Jeremy Howers. Membry goes short to Hoskin Elliott. It's a very unusual crowd, by the way, so they're expecting 70,000. It feels very spaced out, so it's not like there's any one block that's really well populated. And
Your social distancing.
yeah, it does feel a bit like that, doesn't it, Ram? As the kick heads down the wing, spills down towards Allen, he coughs it up. Adelaide back with it, and then Curvis gives it to Millerer up over halfway. Fogarty punches it on from the Crows. Out to meet it, Keys, left it behind. Fogarty goes and gets it a second time and then breaks a would-be tackle. 70 from home, tumbles a kick inside 50. They all miss it. Philthorpe heading up, and to mop it up is Houston. Handball dangerous. Turns it over. Walker knocks it down to Keys. He's clipped high. And a free kick for Ben Keys. 30 out, right half forward for the Crows.
They've been a little bit careless in this first quarter, the Pies. That's their third head-high tackle against. So Crows just a little bit lower at the moment. So it's not concerning in terms of the result, but I think is in terms of a technique. Don't want to give too many free kicks away for head-high tackles inside your defensive 50.
Keys runs around to try and improve the angle. Got it skinny and doesn't score as Cameron marks on the behind line. So Collingwood still by 6 points. We are 9 minutes into the contest. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Cameron on the last line. Sends it as long as he can towards big Mason Cox. He brings it to ground at Alan Rose. Handball stolen. Rankin runs to 50. Likes the look of the sticks. And that is magic. Isaac Rankin pinches it and finishes it. Scores level. 1-1-7 apiece. 9.5 into the opening term. And who could forget the Saturday Arvo when they last met? He ran too far on the members' wing.
And pinged to Hammy.
And pinged to Hammy right at the death knock of the game. Scores level, Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball.
Oh, young Ed Allen. Yeah. You've got to make sure of it, don't you, when a player like Isaac Rankin. It was a bit like the NBA Finals at the moment on Remy. You're a basketball man. It was a genuine steal, wasn't it? And then off a couple of stacks, just steadied and went bang from the paint. What a player he is.
You love that. A lot of players panic in Rankin's situation when they've got the steal. It's like, oh, I've got the steal. But Bawley summed it up nicely there. Just steady, got his shoulder squared to the target of the goals and didn't try to overkick the ball, just caressed it through.
Lipinski and Berry, the two subs. No late change coming in as Collingwood win it back edge of the square. Josh Dacos to Houston. His handball knocked down. Taylor gets there for Adelaide. Got it out to Dawson, who kicks wide to Isaac Cumming. And marks on the wing for Adelaide, short to Hinge.
Pressure at the moment from the Crows. Top 4 pressure team in the comp. They're just creating turnovers, causing some fumbles.
He scores level through 11 minutes. As Hinge goes along to the pack in the pocket, offhand, spills down to Curtin. Tight from the boundary line. Just touched on the way through it. Clipped the post. Gee, Curtin, I thought he'd done something miraculous as he kicked a floater across the goalface and it almost bent its way through.
It's just clipped the padding, hasn't it? The umpire's right there, so it's a good call.
He went the inside out.
Yeah,
torpedo.
that?
Yeah.
That was unbelievable as Houston sends a long kick up to the wing. Riley O'Brien, the smartest man in football. 4 degrees, he takes the mark.
Gee, he claimed it too. Curtin had his hands in the air.
Sends it back into the pocket here for the Crows. There's Curtin again, hands to it, doesn't mark. Side bottom Robes, Pies back pocket. Handball to Frampton, to Josh Dacos, twisting, turning, clearing with the kick. Cox into the back of Laird. Chris Broves, and he'll kick around the members' wing.
Goes to Elliott, who's one out in the cage down there with Michael Annie. Michael Annie does very well, gets the con bounce. Has it for now, turns, kicks back down the wing. That's an ugly kick. Crisp onto it for Collingwood. Hand pass knocked down, and now a pack forms around him, and the ump says, I'll have it. Saw a tremendous running goal for Isaac Rankin. One of the behinds of the season so far from Curtin in the forward pocket. And now there's a free kick and a ruck infringement, which is our favourite thing to do in the game at the moment, is to pick one out in that scenario, and it's going to O'Brien's way. We'll have it at half back. Adelaide by a point. There's that miraculous Curtin behind 12 minutes in. Long kick down the wing. Spills off hands to Saligo. Handball out to Curtin, who's been busy early. The youngest Crow out there as he tumbles a kick inside 50 and it rolls out of play. Says insufficient intent. That kick probably travelled 60 metres, Rama. And he was against the boundary line himself trying to dang it down the line. So free kick for Collingwood, left half back. Adelaide by 1.
Howe with the kick back up to the wing. Cox goes up, lots of it. Not paid the mark. No, he is in the end. Mason Cox right beneath us, members' side of the ground. I want to go back to Ray in a moment around that ruck infringement rule and the insufficient intent.
I don't know what the umpire is asking Dan Curtin to do there. He's under pressure going towards the boundary. He's kicked it to a contest inside his forward 50.
Crisp wins the footy half forward, sweeping handball. Hoskin Elliott, swivel, snaps, goals. Collingwood at their best. And they're back in front. They lead it by 5 points. 2-1-13 plays 1-8. The Premiership Don and Premiership Pie Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball.
Oh, just something out of nothing, Ramo. That was brilliant from Jack Crisp, wasn't it? Again, we had Rankin stealing one at one end. This time it was Jack Crisp stealing it with the right hand, and then it was a 30-metre handball.
Yeah.
He looked up, saw Hoskin Elliott in space, and just flushed it with the left hand. And Hoskin Elliott good to capitalise. So well done, Jack Crisp, who was just magnificent last week. I thought him and Elliott got the Pies over the line. That's an unbelievable goal assist.
Given it is Sir Doug Nicholls' round and we celebrate so many of our First Nations footballers, as Corbin always calls it, a sweeping polyfarmer handball, wasn't it, from Jack Crisp?
Sure was.
Certainly was.
Second lead change in the game. Feels like we're in for a good one today. We had high hopes. We've had some highlights already, and we've only travelled 14 minutes. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Quick kick out of the middle from the Crows. Bounces down to half forward. Oh, they all left it behind. Everyone ran on. No one went and got the footy. Perryman does that. Handball along the boundary line and then skidding through. Close to the line. Nankervis kept it alive. Perryman gets a second go. Kick swatted down. Jack Crisp goes darting through. And the AFL's Iron Man keeps it alive. Gave it to Nick Dacos. His hand pass knocked down. Some sockers it back in the other direction, but Pendlebury's there. And the Magpies reload all the way back to Frampton, centre half back.
They try to switch. Frampton gives it off to Quaynor. Takes a couple of bounces. Runs to the logo. Overshoots Bobby Hill, but Miller goes to ground. The ball will tumble close to the line, and the umpire will say, spin it in. So Ray Chamberlain, going back to that earlier incident, what is the umpire asking Dan Curtin to do?
So in relation to the ball up, it was an immediate smack across the chops. So that's going to be high contact. Yeah. That's not sort of ruck lotto. Moving forward in terms of the insufficient intent, I felt that I don't think that free kick needs to be paid by virtue of the fact that the ground, you will reach the boundary line or you'll score. So at some point, where that ground, where the boundary sort of coils around, it will go out of bounds at some point. There were players in the vicinity. Yeah. So I feel like it's a pretty rough implementation of the law going forward.
On the boundary throwing, Collingwood had it, now lost it. Adelaide through Saligo, outer edge of the centre square, kicks down to half forward. Quaynor puts his fist through it. Into the lap of Houston on the wing. Handball to Allen. He kicks a high ball down to half forward for Collingwood. Only one Crow in the pack, and they were worried about him as Miller had his jumper tugged and he gets the free.
That actually feels really good from Ray. I've 1-1. Let's take it. What are we, round 10? 10 rounds and I've got one win.
As Miller goes back to Michael Lanning. He's in the back pocket. Long kick to the southern wing. A mark taken by Nankervis, moves it on immediately. Handball away to Worrell. Short kick, looking to try and find Taylor. Broken up by Quaynor. Still Adelaide with the numbers. Keys gives it off to Laird. Handball to Dawson. Sweeps a handball out to Walker. Now the extra hand pass back to Taylor, who's kept on moving. Kicks inboard. It's a good one. Reaches Rochelle. There was a free anyway as he was put down after getting the kick back inboard. But Zach Taylor's had a nice start here.
Yeah.
Pressure and disposal.
Ray Chamberlain, you got a little response to Ram there?
I just didn't realise we were keeping score, Rammer.
Ray, there's always a scoreboard in my game, my friend.
Ray's lost count, though. He's won so many.
Hashtag sharpens the pen.
And we've likely start Zach Taylor, the 22-year-old. He wasn't in the team at the start of the year. He's now playing his 6th game of the season. Nice setup there. Rochelle to finish off the work. He's got it. And we have 3 early lead changes. Adelaide back on top. Crows by a point. 17 minutes in. Adelaide 2-2. Collingwood 2-1. Saturday footy on ABC Sport with Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas.
Well, you can trace it all the way back to half-back here, Ram. And they're already showing intent, the Crows. That's why I like it. It wasn't a perfect play, but the quick give, the quick release off half-back to the runner coming past just creates, it gets energy on the footy. It creates something up the field. And again, it wasn't perfect, but they had numbers at the contest, so there's a clear intent with Adelaide here how they want to play. Their ability to score from turnover is elite. It's actually number 1 in the comp at the moment, and it all comes back to that give without even thinking about it. And then things create up the field with such a talented forward line, getting the ball in motion from halfback, creating things, creating movement upfield. And that time it was Taylor, who, as you said, has had a really nice start. No sub this week for Zach Taylor. Had a really nice start to this game.
Goal for goal through the opening 4, long with the clearance for the Pies, tumbles into the pocket, getting back there, Hinge leaves it behind, then goes back and wins it. Does really well. Emerges with the football, exits D50, kick to Rochelle. Just backward of the wing here for the Crows. He'll kick around the southern boundary line, out there, Frampton dealt with, free kick. Just wrenched off it. Umpire Nathan Williamson in game 200. Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, Dan Houston made his way to the interchange bench, just in the hands of the doctors. A lower limb situation. I think it's more got trod on than anything like a rolled ankle.
Umpires Williamson, Meredith, Mollison and Bales in charge of this one today.
So a little milestone for your man, Nate Williamson, Ben.
Yep.
200. There's Frampton, goes long down the wing, and Dan Curtin picks it off.
So I'm just watching the Peatling-Nick Dacos matchup. Dacos has gone to half forward now to shake the tag. He's got Rory Laird as his direct opponent, but Peatling, when he's in the midfield, Dacos is going everywhere with him.
Curtin back to half forward, spills down to Howe. His hand pass meant for side bottom. Missed him, slides out of bounds, and the ump says throw that in front of the Shane Warne stand. Adelaide by a point. 19 minutes gone, 2-1 to, Collingwood 2-1, Adelaide 2-2. Well, Goona, as they're known, of course, the Crows throughout Sir Doug Nicholls round. This is the first week of 2. You've got a good one already with 3 early lead changes here at the G.
Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Peatling receives the handball from Thilthorpe and he's tackled out. Long doing the dirty work there for the Pies. Throwing coming again on the southern side of the ground. Shane Warne stand. 12 degrees Celsius, feels like 8. Very cool day in Melbourne. Cameron slapping it down. Spills out towards Long again. Hooks across his body. Cox takes the tumbling mark, the big man. Wants to get it moving quickly for Collingwood. Kicks inside 50 in the direction of Myercheck. Chris Broves, clever snap on goal. Needs a bounce, doesn't get it. Back there for the Crows is Max Michaelani. What a player he's become. Slaps it away from the dangerous Bobby Hill. And scores are level. 2-2-14 each of 2. Time on. First term Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
He's in the great alliteration team in the competition as well, Max Michaelani. We like that as broadcasters. As mark taken by Laird as he goes long down the wing, and a tumbling mark for Dawson. Almost landed on the footy on the way down.
Started well, the skipper. Possession number 8.
It's a wrestling manoeuvre over the shoulder of Braden Maynard. Mark's paid, kicks down to Fogarty, who takes a juggled mark himself. 70 metres out left half forward. Wanted to go, decides to come back inboard to Dawson, who is a left footer on his preferred side. Kicks for Walker. He'll take this. That is a dart. Straight on the chest of the big man, and Walker's got it. 30 out left half forward.
That's one of the best kicks of the season. To see Taylor Walker, there's a sea of players inside Adelaide's forward 50. And Dawson has absolutely pierced that ball to hit Walker on the chest. Outstanding kick.
Quiet last week. How has he responded? Jordan Dawson. The hot start. And Walker, goalless last week. Not today. Pops it through. And Adelaide lead by that kick. Goona, 3-2-20. They lead Collingwood 2-2-14. A 6-point advantage for the road team. 22 minutes in. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, it was a beauty, wasn't it, Ramo? And you asked a question, Corey, before the game. The two trump cards in the middle of the ground. Nick Dacos, from Collingwood's point of view, slowish start. He spent a little bit of time forward. I'm not sure he's all 100%, Dacos.
That
He's
hip's
limping around
up
a bit. Yeah, it is. So that's a watch for mine. He's only had the 3 possessions, and the skipper on the other side. That's 9 possessions. Next best is 6. 180 metres gain, a couple of tackles, and 3 score involvements. So whether it's a tag or not, now's the time. You look down at these experienced Collingwood mids. Time to put a bit of attention into this star Crow captain. It's too big of an impact on the game at the moment.
First time today, either team has kicked back-to-back goals. Nick Dacos picks it up in the middle. Forward handball for Pendlebury. Forward handball for McCreery. Runs to the attacking edge of the square. His kick is offline on goal. Slips over as he kicks it as well. Incredible carry on the kick, considering it's gone all of 60 metres plus, but a minor score. 5 points Adelaide's lead. 23 minutes into the first. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Michaelani off, he trots from the kick out, goes long to the contest. Dawson flying again. Ball hits the deck, comes Collingwood's way. Cameron, handball to Perryman. Handball over his shoulder. Here's Nick Dacos. Got it away quickly by hand to Pendlebury. Back to Nick. Sells the dummy around 1. Slick hands to Pendlebury. He's going to give it back to Nick. They're just waxing here through traffic. Handball missed at McCreery. Collingwood good enough to mop it up. He got it back from long. McCreary breaking through tackles. The ump said, you've had long enough. It's holding the ball.
Well, they were waxing called because Adelaide had numbers back. They had one-on-ones all inside their forward 50, but Adelaide then had 3 players sitting back by themselves inside Collingwood's forward 50.
Short kick to Rochelle, who turns and kicks up to the wing. Thilthorpe runs underneath it out the back. Maynard there for Collingwood.
Oh.
Handball back into the corridor. Perriman slaps it on, goes and gets it. Handball to Josh Dacos. Sweeping handball for Allen. Attacks the footy, doesn't gather it. Out of play it goes, throwing on the wing. What have you made of the McCreary look in the midfield?
I don't mind it. It's simply makes it more dynamic.
It's a burst.
It's real speed and power.
Yep.
Is it particularly with Geordie De Goey out at the moment?
Yeah, it's that sort of role. That's
Spot on.
right.
Well done, Ben.
Thank you.
You're actually seeing the game quite well lately.
Been down at training as well. I've become a track watcher.
Cameron palms it down. Knocks back on by Curtin in the other direction to Peatling's advantage to Rochelle. Adelaide with it, sweeping hand pass to half forward. Perryman throws his body out at long, wins it. Handball away to Josh Dacos, kicks to centre half forward. Laird leaves his man, breaks it up from Myercheck. Myercheck good enough to paddle it on to Bobby Hill. Always dangerous, 55 out, kicks to full forward. Membry clears out Butts and takes the mark. Full forward for Collingwood. He can chuck it over from about 12 out.
And they get to Harry Perryman here at half back. That was just he just went harder, lower and harder, created the collision, which led to the turnover. And there was a beautiful kick from Josh Dacos, who's shaped to go wide, hooked it back over his body. Great contest from Brody Myercheck back into the team. And a bit of magic from Bobby Hill creates the scoring opportunity for Tim Membry.
Just as Adelaide looked like they were starting to take over, Membry with a momentum shifter. And it's a go-ahead goal. 4 lead changes already. And this game has been everything we wanted it to be so far. We are 25 minutes in. It's Collingwood by a point, 3-3 to 3-2. Saturday footy on ABC Sport with Bawley and Rammer.
So right now Collingwood, they're over handballing, there's no doubt. So they've had 38 kicks, 37 handballs, so that's inviting Adelaide's pressure. Adelaide's pressure has been really good, but I think the way Adelaide have set up behind the football is a bit of cause for concern for Collingwood. It's there really was probably the only inside 50 they've had. They've only had 9 for the quarter, Collingwood, where they were able to get one-on-ones, true one-on-ones. It didn't allow another Crows player to come across, be that third man into that contest. Membry there too good for Butts. He's got to be stronger in that contest, hold his ground, can't allow your direct opponent to mark at the top of the goal square.
Thoughts of Adam Ramanauskas. He's alongside Luke Ball, back in the middle. O'Brien hooks it down. Saligo can't gather it. Sullivan knocks it out. Elliott in there for the Pies. Handball away to Perryman. Kicks from the back of the logo up towards Nick Dacos. Hinge, a diving spoil. You love to see it. Desperation, he punches it out. Throwing coming between wing and half forward here for the Pies.
Yeah, Jamie Elliott this time pinching in the centre bounce. I think with Dacos spending a bit more time forward, we'll see a bit of that. McCreary, Elliott, these explosive type players taking the centre bounce and then pushing forward. Both been effective so far.
Over 70,000 in the house. Umpire flings it in. O'Brien taps it back boundary side. Out after it is Rankin. We'll do it again. What about Riley O'Brien? 4 degrees. Spoke during the week his favourite Pope, Gregory VII. He reformed the church. He's a different kind of cat, Riley O'Brien, isn't he?
Well, maybe to you, Ben, but that's pretty sort of normal.
He might say the same about you.
Exactly. Yeah. Different for a footballer? Don't be so stereotypical.
He'd be right if he said I was a different cat. Like, that's fine.
O'Brien wins it down to Crisp. Handball away to Josh Dacos. So Collingwood inside the forward 50 to spot the hit-out win. As the ball spills off the pack to Laird. Handball to Millerer. Kicks out of defence. One bounce. And then to Cameron, who keeps it in. 70 out from goal. Hand pass to Josh Dacos. Collingwood reload back inside 50. Punched away by Cumming. He hasn't quite killed it. Bobby through. Kicks it out of mid-air for a goal. He lights up the MCG again. And that ball just wasn't killed enough. And you give Bobby Hill a sniff and he's all over it. Collingwood by 7 points, 4-3 to 3-2. 28 goal opening term. Hill with his first of the day. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
That's a long way to spoil the ball. I think where this kick comes in from Josh Dacos inside forward 50. The Crows look good there. Who was it? Was it Cumming.
Yep, coming with the spoil.
Yeah, and he was probably 25 metres out from goal, and he needed it. He needed a couple of more metres with that spoil, but that's just... That's outstanding from Bobby Hill.
Yeah, these small forwards, a bit of a concern for the Crows. We know these, they're pretty good medium-sized defenders. Is he claiming that? No, he didn't.
Yeah, the real big guys and the real little guys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a problem. And that time with Michael Lanning actually slipped over. Yeah. He'd be a nightmare to play on in that forward 50, Bobby Hill.
Bobby Hill, a Noongar man, the only First Nations player out there for Collingwood today, led. Gets the clearance for the Crows, kicks inside 50. Howe's back there again. I think that's a third intercept mark inside D50 for Jeremy Howe in this game as he kicks out wide to Braden Maynard.
Just sharpen up a bit, Rami. Your point around, they were just a bit handball happy early, Collingwood. And this is a serious pressure team. So the last couple, Josh Dacos, a lot more direct, take the yards, long to a contest.
Maynard with the contest, kick up to the wing. Nick Dacos falls on top of the ball and ball up.
And the reality of that is, if Adelaide are the number one pressure team in the competition, don't handball. Because that's how they want the game. That's how Adelaide want the game to play. Kick the ball.
Both rucks miss it. Riley O'Brien just tugs down Darcy Cameron. Free kick to Collingwood. Right beneath us. Collingwood by 7 points. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. 29 minutes into the first.
Cameron goes wide to Josh Dacos in front of the benches. Now a long contest kick to half forward for Collingwood. They come from all directions. No mark for Dawson. Spills off hands to Jamie Elliott. Wrestles free of the Miller tackle. Gives it to Sullivan. Kicks inside 50, but Hinge picks it off. Marks at fullback for the Crows. Of course, the last 4 games between these two teams all decided by under a goal. So despite the fact Adelaide are winless in their last 10, that includes a draw and a handful of games by close margins. Hoping to try and break that today at the G. As Laird kicks down the wing. The waning moments of the opening turn. Ball spills off the pack to Josh Dacos. Handball to Allen. Handball to half forward for McCreary. He steps his way around Laird. Handball to Crisp. Caught. Ball comes out in the tackle. The ump says holding the ball. And it'll be a free kick for Adelaide. And now 50 is Nick Dacos.
That will give them one chance. There's 8 seconds remaining in this quarter. So if this ball goes inside forward 50, a big pack mark I'd expect.
It's Dawson too, so he can get it there.
Nick kicked the ball away. So seconds tick down. 4, 3, 2. Is there time? Hinge inside the forward 50. The answer is no.
Why did the clock start? The clock only should have started when Dawson handballed the ball. That's play on.
That's the umpire according to move. You got an answer for us on that, Ray?
Yeah, the clock will start as soon as the umpire blows going on when he set the mark after the 50 metres been implemented.
Right.
7-point lead for Collingwood. It's been a cracking opening term. What is a cold and wet day in Melbourne. It hasn't rained so far since play's begun, which is good news, but this threatening grey veil hangs over the MCG with the floodlights on and the temperature just a dozen degrees. Our first real wintry day, it must be said. Yesterday was 17 degrees and clear, and we've been pretty lucky throughout the fall so far. Collingwood by 7, 4 lead changes. The goal kickers, 1 for Houston, Hill, Membry and Hoskin Elliott. Meanwhile, for Adelaide, singles for Rochelle, Walker and Rankin. Your thoughts on the SMS? Laurel in sunny Rushworth says, good afternoon, team. All settled in, ready for the usual Saturday calls, especially my Cats tonight. Good calling. Thanks, Laurel. Of course, there's 2 games in the twilight today, which is a little unusual. So that'll be Port Adelaide and Geelong coming up next. At the same time, GWS play Fremantle. And then tonight, a standalone Saturday night game, which features the Western Bulldogs and Essendon under the roof at Docklands. From Matt in Tassie, the AFL wants the last touch out of bounds rule to be a free kick for the opposing team, so just introduce it and the players will adjust. The AFL just needs to make it official. Of course, we do have that in the SANFL and in the AFLW competition, but not in the state leagues in the other states, and of course here at AFL level. More of your thoughts coming up off the SMS, and we'll hear from Bawley and Rammer as well. A cracking game so far. Collingwood by 7 at quarter time. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
There was something very different about this federal election.
There are concerns about the impact AI could have on young voters.
So, what can we do about it? If You're Listening presents Australia versus the Internet. Find the podcast on the ABC Listen app.
This is the Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
Elliott collects 70 from home, just doinks a kick inside 50, and Membry takes the mark right on the 50. Comes inboard to guess who? It's Dan Houston. No one stands the mark from outside 50. Houston's rocket is the first goal of the day.
Cameron on the last line. Sends it as long as he can towards big Mason Cox. He brings it to ground at Alan Rhodes. Handball stolen. Rankin runs to 50. Likes the look of the sticks. And that is magic. Isaac Rankin. Crisp wins the footy half forward. Sweeping handball. Hoskin Elliott. Swivel snaps. Goals. Collingwood at their best.
Cameron, who keeps it in, 70 out from goal. Hand pass to Josh Dacos. Collingwood reload back inside 50. Punched away by Cumming. He hasn't quite killed it. Bobby Thrall kicks it out of midair for a goal. He lights up the MCG again.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Corbin Middlemass, Ben Cameron, Ray Chamberlain on the boundary, and our premiership pair, Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball. The Magpies by 7 points at quarter time.
Well, really a terrific quarter of football. We had a number of lead changes in that quarter, so yeah, it all suggests a really good game, a really tight game of football today. The conditions now are fine. It's cold, but the conditions are terrific. There's no rain around at the minute, so conditions are fine, and the G dries out really quickly, so no excuses for both teams. The Peatling-Dacos matchup's really interesting one. Dacos is clearly hampered by that hip injury at the moment, so he ended up with the 7, but 1 kick, 6 handballs. So we know Dacos does his most damage by foot, albeit Champion Data don't think that at the moment, so they've got him as the 10th worst kick in the competition. Which,
if I can just jump in there, we had Matty Nix on AFL Saturday, and he said, look, we're going to worry about his score involvement and the damage, so
correct.
He'd be very happy, I think, with that.
Yeah, and so what Dacos is then trying to do is go to half forward to really break that tag. Okay, you know what, Peter, if you want to tag, no dramas, but come with me forward. But to Adelaide's credit, they're holding their back 6, so he then gets handed over to, it was a Mitch Hinge in that quarter, and I thought they really kept him out of the game. For the Crows, Dawson was terrific that quarter. He's had the 11, but it's just his ball use, particularly that one to Taylor Walker going inside forward 50. Collingwood need to change their mode at the moment. They're handball happy, 48 kicks, 44 handballs. Bally mentioned the pressure that Adelaide apply as the number 1 pressure team in the competition. Collingwood need to use their feet more in this second quarter.
Yeah, I thought about the 20-minute mark when you made that call, Ramy. It was spot on. They were a bit handball happy and just inviting the pressure in. Picture even Rankin, picking one off and kicking the goal, and number 1 team from scoring from turnovers. So I just thought they were playing Adelaide's hands a little bit, and the conditions not really conducive for that, are they, today? Being a little bit greasy, so I thought there was a noticeable shift in that last 5 or 6 minutes. It was led by Josh Dacos, I thought, across half-back, who we know is their go-to man, their quarterback. They love the ball in his hands, and he had 8 possessions and pumped the ball inside 54 times. So I thought, I thought there was a noticeable shift from their senior players, led by Josh. That okay, we understand we're just flicking around, being a little bit flippant with the footy, inviting some pressure. Let's take our yards and get it forward. Get a contest from Myercheck and Cox and the other forwards, and then let the Hill and Elliott, Hoskin Elliott get to work at ground level. And I thought that was where they really turned it around. Middle of the ground, bit of a pretty even battle. Both teams have looked dangerous out of centre bounce and have been able to generate scoring opportunities out of centre bounce. Probably for the Crows, Dawson's been the standout. He needs some help. So it's Saligo 3 possessions, it's Rankin 3 possessions. He needs a few others to jump on board through that middle of the ground.
Thoughts of Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas. It is Collingwood by 7 points as we start the second term. The Rucks share it down and Rankin grabs it, kicks it inside the forward 50, but Frampton, former Crow, former Port Adelaide footballer, now premiership pie, kicks it back down the wing, never broke stride. Now there's another whistle here on the play, as it's going to be an Adelaide free kick. It's an illegal shove into the back of Wayne Miller by Bobby Hill. Goes wide to Isaac Cumming. The Crows work it forward. Gives it to Saligo. Kicks in the Walker direction. Over the top goes Howe. Punched further afield for Adelaide. Fogarty's got it. Tackled. Maynard makes sure he's not going anywhere as the pair untangle, and the ump calls for a ball up. Forward pocket for Gowanna. The Crows during Sir Doug Nicholls' round. Kicking to the Ponsford stand and early doors second term.
From the ball up, Pendlebury gets a handball away. Straight to Long. He's carried out. Do it again. Forward pocket here for the Crows, attacking the city end of the ground in this second term.
Some serious power and horsepower and beef in that Maynard and Fogarty matchup in there.
Beef's the good word for it, I think.
Sort of thinking hips down. How can I put that nicely? Good battle.
Umpire brings it in again. Cameron taps it to the front. Josh Dacos gathers the footy. He'll kick out in front of Quaynor. Goes for a run. Has to paddle. Corrals at half-back flank for the Pies. Waits. Maynard runs on. Gathers it. Now feeds a forward handball to Josh Dacos. He feeds one further afield. Pies work it up to the wing here with Sidebottom. He kicks infield, looking for his old mate Pendlebury. Bouncing ball half forward for Collingwood. It doesn't sit for Pendles. The Crows arrive and they pick it up and have the numbers.
Saligo works it through to Millerer. Defensive side of halfway. Got a handball to Rankin. Usually a good idea to put it in his hands, and he finds his mate Rochelle. Marks right on 50. Rochelle goes long to Fogarty, who's got it in the pocket.
That was well done by Ben Keys.
Just floated into the pack, took out the defender.
Yeah, just floated in the middle of the pack. So he would have got a free kick if Fogarty hadn't marked that ball. Because Frampton took him over the shoulder, but it just didn't allow Frampton to get to Fogarty to have any influence on that contest.
Just again, that ability to generate scores from turnovers. Turnover here at half-back. Poor kick from Sidebottom. Shot a goal at the other end.
He's been super accurate this year, and that run continues. Kicks the first to the second term and makes it a 1-point game. Darcy Fogarty moves the Crows to 4-2-26. They trail Collingwood 4-3-27. 3 minutes played, second term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
He got down there pretty quick, didn't it, Rammer? Just a 50-50 ball, middle of the ground. A couple of broken tackles there for the Pies. Miller involved, and Rochelle just popping out forward of the ball. Just smart half forward does. He went long. He had Dawson short, actually. Really hard for any team to defend a turnover from that part of the ground. Fogarty getting on the end of it. He almost collided with Keys, didn't he? A cop one for his troubles, Ben Keys, but Darcy Fogarty, as I said, been a good battle. Hasn't really been able to insert himself on the game to this point. Gets his opportunity there.
Only goalless once this year and has kicked multiples on every other occasion, Darcy Fogarty. Become a really good player as O'Brien picks it up out of the middle. Handball to Laird. Back to Dawson under pressure. Handball a turnover. Holding the ball anyway. Nick Dacos gives it off to Pendlebury. Off to Darcy Cameron. Kicks Collingwood inside 50. Dawson, the skipper, goes back and marks for the Crows. 40 out from their defensive goal and moves it on to Neil Bullen.
Love that by Dawson. Make the mistake. Go fix it up.
Chief possession getter on the ground. He's up to 13 as Neil Bullen's kick finds Thilthorpe. That's Dawson with 13 as the kick heads inside the forward 50. Two of the big three fly for it in Fogarty and Walker. No marks. Spills to Josh Dacos. There's one for the junior coaches. The Collingwood players keep their feet, win the footy. To Pendlebury, back to Sidebottom, back to Josh Dacos. Handball away to Sidebottom against the boundary line, running out of room. Comes back inboard. Pendlebury measures the drop punt and got it to Hoskin Elliott. Still got every bit of it. Scott Pendlebury, the 37-year-old, is the oldest man out there today, as he is most weeks. Collingwood by a point.
Hoskin Elliott, Pies Swiss Army knife, kicks to a contest half forward for Collingwood. There's a free kick. It'll go to Collingwood. Mason Cox.
Or Elliott, I think.
Yeah, it is going to go to Elliott. Mason Cox was skipping back off the mark, received the football, but
a bit sore, Jamie, too.
Well, he got
those ones he got pushed into it, didn't
it's
he?
a bit dangerous, that one.
2 kicks from home, Jamie Elliott. Looks into the pocket. That's where he sends it for the Pies. Can they find a marker? Membry Keane again. The Irishman for the Crows marks in the back pocket. And he's making a habit of that.
Yeah, full of confidence, isn't he? Love that. We love key defenders who back themselves to take front position and mark the footy. Mason Cox has got to bring the ball to ground there.
Kicks to the opposite pocket for Butts. He sends it out to the wing. No mark taken. Frampton going at ground level. Keys too. No surprises. Howe gets it back for the Pies. Gives it off to Perryman. He hooks it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Here's Elliott. So too Hill. Bobby Hill goes in again, but well done there by Laird. Wins it for the Crows and they should clear.
Coming. Handball away towards Michael Lanny. Hand pass against the boundary line to Rankin. Heavy tackle. But it was over the shoulder from Jeremy Howe and a free kick for Rankin.
Another one. That's their fourth. I think that one's hurt Rankin a little bit as well.
Right in the back of his neck. Where's you only have it back of your neck, dude? He's holding his neck.
No, I think just looking at the replay, I think that was from a
earlier one.
Prior collision with a teammate, Benny Keys. He's on a bit of a warpath out there at the moment, Benny Keys.
Short to Neil Bullen, the only premiership player on Adelaide's list. As he kicks down to half forward, O'Brien whacks it back inboard. Picked up by Peatling, spun around. Hand pass only goes as far as Sullivan. He's tackled and held up by O'Brien. A ball up on the wing. Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, Dan Houston, that right lower leg heavily strapped. He's actually standing next to the bike and just one leg, the one that's obviously injured. He's moving, trying to keep that blood flow, keeping it warm. Keep an eye on that one.
Sounds like a bad corky, doesn't it?
Cork calf. They're tricky.
Jamie Elliott
in trouble here too.
He's got a blood rule, so after copping that knock in the head, a little bit of claret just trickling down the side of his face. And he'll trot off, and Brody Myercheck runs on. It was an elbow from Mason Cox that
it was actually
cut open his head. Just clumsy big men, aren't they? Suckered forward there by the Crows towards half forward, but picked up half back for the Pies by Josh Dacos. Handball for Sullivan, right there with him, Rankin. Out of play, it goes on the wing.
It's funny, we all had those teammates that, for whatever reason, they'll run into you or...
It was yours.
And it's just like... Mark Johnson used to run into me a lot.
Cozzy was mine. Cozzy knocked me out, broke my nose. Former hamstring once. I reckon Cozzy was responsible for me missing about 20 games.
Love him. From the ball up on the wing, kick from Cameron back to the outer corridor. No mark for Nick Dacos. Miller had it, lost it, and the McCreary tackle. Back to Nick Dacos. Hand pass inside 50. Says keep it rolling. Back in the corridor. He's Peatling. Kicks it across the ground. Found Fogarty.
Should get this here, Collingwood.
Broken up by Maynard numbers with the Pies at half forward. Quaynor gives it to Crisp. Now to the 50-metre arc. Hand pass to Maynard. Shoots to the goal square. Trying to find Myercheck. Is he getting a free? No. Picked up by Butts. Tackled by Membry. Taken to ground. And the ump says I'll have it.
Close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's clearly over the shoulder.
Just a little bit out of sorts, Myercheck. Obviously, he didn't play last week. He's competing and presenting well. Just can't get his hands to stick yet. Hasn't touched the footy.
Pies by a point. Great game of footy. Forward 50 stoppage here for the Pies. O'Brien brings it down. Myercheck steals it. Can't get a kick away. Hill comes through. Sockers it forward. Keen's back there. Dumps it on the left boot. Kick. Turnover. Mark for Perryman. 45 metres out. 30-degree angle. Wants to chip it into the pocket. Pendlebury. He accepts it. Close to the boundary line. 5 metres in. 30 metres out. Tight angle. Right side for the left footer though.
I don't see Pendlebury having many set shots.
No. Is that a better option than where Perryman was, 45 out, right half forward?
Could have been kicking from 50. Harry
Pendles
was
is
right on
fairly
his journey.
skilled.
He's going to go the straight kick, not round the corner.
This is virtually the Dom Sheed kick. From the same pocket, Pendles misses to the right-hand side. Sorry to Collingwood fans everywhere. Collingwood by 2 points, 9 minutes into the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
It's also the long end of the G as well. Brett Delidio's theory that the balls carry a bit further at the city end than they do at the punt road end. If there's a longer end and a shorter end, this is the longer end. As Butts marks the kick out, goes wide to the pocket for Michael Annie. Against the boundary line, heads to Nankervis. Sprawling mark just at half back. Adelaide with it, Collingwood with a 2-point lead, 10 minutes into the second term. Saturday footy, ABC Sport. Turnover, Maynard wins it back on the wing. 1-2 with Houston. Now lifts a handball to Crisp. Sends it down to half forward for Hoskin Elliott. Comes back inboard. Sullivan to Nick Dacos, all by hand to Houston. He's 55 out. Just lays it up to the top of the goal square. Keane puts his fist through it rather than marking. Into the lap of side bottom and immediately is tackled. And the ump says, I'll have it. 25 out from the Collingwood goal at the punt road end.
Again, just one too many handballs there from the Pies. Thought they had a couple of players out. Might have been Sullivan, who could have kept going forward and found a loose.
20 out from the Pies goal. O'Brien wins the tap down. Peatling gets it off to Laird. Laird tumbles it beyond defensive 50. Allen wins it back there for the Pies. Kicks into the pocket. Looking for McCreary. McCreary somehow. Laird had a fresh area on the spoil attempt. And Beau McCreary marks hard up against the boundary line. 35 out, right forward pocket.
That's the risk with Rory Laird playing in defence. And that's really a simple spoil there. The ball should have been over the line and a throw in.
It's been a good little patch though, hasn't it? Like the last 5 inside 50s here for the Pies. Haven't been able to get any bang for their buck yet though.
McCreery with the drop punt. It's across the face and punched through. Worrell on the last line for the Crows. Double fists it through. Collingwood's lead extends out to 3 points, 11 played in this second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, holding up well, this Crows defence. Just need to see if they can maintain a bit of possession here, give their backs a bit of a breather. It's been a tough 5 minutes.
Millera takes some ground and then goes long to Nankervis, and marks at half back. 3 point advantage for Collingwood. Nankervis kicks down the wing, punched away by Frampton. Into the fence, down in front of Ray Chamberlain. Hello, Ray.
G'day, guys. Yeah, no, most definitely that City end. I'm not going to get tied up in Delid's theory about longer ends, but it's definitely the ball's travelling on the breeze that way.
There you go. Boundary throw-in. Philthorpe palms it down towards side bottom. Kicks down in the Myercheck direction, sits up in front of Keane. Clever, knocks it down for Adelaide to Nankervis, gives it to Hinge, has a fumble. It costs him. Tackled by Josh Dacos. Ball spills out, and then Neil Bullen is caught. Ball up on the wing.
Ray, can you check if Craig McRae's wearing footy boots on the bench, please?
Okay. Surely not. Cox tapping it down, opposed to Thilthorpe. Comes out towards Rankin. Crows possession. Gives it off to Dawson on his non-preferred right. Kicks up to half forward. Fogarty marks. His man goes to ground. He wants to run off with it. Ooh. Free kick, Howe.
Just a little bit overzealous with it. Big Tex. He didn't really need to. And Howe certainly made sure that umpire Nath Williamson saw it, but just didn't need to be so strong, getting his body in line with the player.
Howe gives it off to Maynard, running around the members' wing boundary. Kick to half forward for the Black and Whites. No one able to mark it there. Down at ground level, Butts gets a handball away for the Crows. Off to Peatling. He'll send it back around that members' wing.
Walker the target, one-on-one with Frampton. Frampton punches it over the fence, and a boundary throw-in on the wing members' side. Ray Chamberlain.
They are not football boots. They are slick wheels. They are a leather get-up, and they have got an Indigenous print
beautiful
on both, and they look fantastic. I'll flick a photo up for you.
Thank you.
Saw the players' boots specially designed by First Nations artists this weekend at Collingwood. And the coach got himself a set of custom wheels as well, as Pendlebury away to Long. Tackled, caught, holding the ball.
It's the problem for Collingwood. They want to continue. It's 18 kicks, 25 handballs at the moment this quarter for Collingwood.
3 point lead for the Pies. 14 gone. Second term. Curtin with it. Logo broadcast side. Heads down to half forward. Punched away against Frampton. He's done some good work in defence. Spills to Crisp.
Right idea though, Corb.
Kicks inboard.
He can't do that.
Millera took the mark and then tried to handball to Hinge, who was running in front of him. The ump said, no, can't do that.
Millera kicks inside 50. Howe goes up in front, hands to it, spills down to Walker. Handball back into the mark. Howe goes in, gives it off to Quaynor. Back feeds a handball to Josh Dacos. Pies in their back pocket. He'll kick to the goal square. Not 15. Frampton looks longer, brings it out to the members' side in the Hoskin-Elliott direction. Through his hands, out the back. Myercheck. He'll feed it to Long. Pies could be out.
Kicks into the corridor. Pendlebury the target. Awkward half volley. Pick up from McCreery. Left it behind. He's coming. Hand pass away towards Curtin, who's caught. Ball comes out. Ump says keep going. Ed Allen with it. Southern wing. Kicks inside the 50. Awkward half volley for Hill. Bounces over his head. Myercheck collects. Shakes a tackle. Handball missed his intended target. Collingwood still a chance. Here's Long. Centre half forward. Gives it to Pendlebury. Kicks wide for Crisp. Short ball further forward and finds Hill, who marks 25 out. Left half forward for Collingwood. It was an interesting way to get there.
That is ridiculous by Scott Pendlebury. To have that vision. Because there was a mess. It was a mess inside Collingwood's forward 50.
It's hard work at the moment.
It took a 400 gamer to go in there and sort it out. And he just saw Jack Crisp at the corner of his eye. It was like a check side wider inside the forward 50. Outstanding.
After 12 minutes in the game without a goal, Bobby Hill shooting here. He's offline and misses. Had 7 goals in the opening term, 1 to start the quarter, and now we've gone 12 minutes plus without one. Collingwood by 4 points, 4-6 to 4-2.
Little dry spell in the game. Worrell with the long kick. Walker marks. Crows quickly down the Great Southern Stand wing. Kick up to half forward. No mark there apart from Houston. He spoilt it to himself. Comes down with the footy, slaps it up into the air and then marks it.
It was a big one-on-one win.
Yeah, Jonty Rhodes like.
Outnumbered too. Dawson at the 4 ready to mop up the crumbs. So big win there for Houston.
They move it to Quain of the Pies. His kick a turnover. Thilthorpe gathers there for Adelaide. Kicks towards Rankin. Half forward flank. Quainor gets back. Halves the contest. Goes again at ground level. Then wins it. Handball for Frampton. Handball to side bottom. Side bottom. Twisting, turning, evading. Slippery. Run down. Took too long. Just gets rid of it and got it onto Long, and now the Pies are out.
Pass through the corridor. Nick Dacos gives it to brother Josh. Lifts it over halfway to McCreary. Kicks into an open forward 50. Poor kick and a turnover.
And he missed Jack Crisp.
He did.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Keane takes the intercept mark. Short to Neil Bullen. Adelaide back the other way.
They're out here.
A lot of tired players. A lot of continuous footy as Paitling receives it. Kicks long to Fogarty. Fogarty heads for home. It's a good option. It's a goal for Fogarty. His second, and the game has its 5th lead change. Adelaide by 2 points. 17 minutes gone, second term. 5-2 to 4-6. I mentioned we had a long time without a goal. We had a long time without a stoppage. And in the end, the run breaks on the boot of Darcy Fogarty. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, it just becomes who can execute then, doesn't it, Rammer? And they've got them a bit spooked at the moment, the Crows, with their pressure. Both Dacos boys running through the middle of the ground. It was McCreary, who you're right, he had Jack Crisp on the open side in mountains of space. He had the tunnel vision on, and Mark Keane was there to turn the ball over, and then, didn't get to the other end very quick, didn't it? And there's players, there's hands on here, some knees everywhere. It's been a taxing 17 minutes or 15 minutes of footy this, up and back, up and back. Crows, number 1 team, we keep saying it, scoring from the turnover. That time it was Fogarty, I'm not sure. Did he go for goal? He might have just pumped it. Yeah, he did. A beautiful finish in the end. Had players free inside 50 as well. So, they've just got them a bit spooked at the moment with their pressure, the Crows.
Just got a little gloomy at the MCG as well. Just wonder whether it's about to rain as from the restart. Rochelle looking to pick it up. Nowhere to go. Another ball upcoming.
You got a little lighter meter like the cricket umpires.
Sim built from the Summers of cricket. O'Brien dumps it down, and
it would be a great test of character for Ray if it did rain. We've had some boundary riders in the past years that as soon as it's rained, they've made their way straight back up to the box. Yes. So it'll be a great show of character, Ray.
No heroes on the boundary, Ray. Keep yourself warm as Curtin sends the Crows inside 50, and Thilthorpe wide out. Left half forward, wheels and goes, eyes the goals towards full forward. Fogarty!
Great hands.
It's quickly turning into his quarter. He marks alongside the behind post, and he'll go back and look at his third.
The 2-on-1 there. Quainor and side bottom. With the big frame of Fogarty there, big hands. Takes that strong mark.
He'll step out, snap on the left, and miss the lot. Not quite his turn just yet.
Poor result there. He can do this though, can't he? The Fog. He can really explode. We've seen him kick 3 and 4 and a quarter already this year.
He's kicked 23 goals 4 this year, so the fact he's missed everything means that at least that record still looks nice and neat. No score on this occasion for Darcy Fogarty. Collingwood try to clear to the wing. Adelaide win it back. Laird to Saligo. Bounces the ball down to half forward. Josh Dacos picks it off. Kicks a running barrel back down the wing. Didn't quite hit it. Membry and Worrell. Membry wins the footy. Kicks inside 50 for Collingwood. Myercheck. Hinge breaks it up. Ball hits the deck. Elliott's there where he should be. Gives it to Long. Handball to side bottom. The ageless one. Side bottom goals. And Collingwood take the lead straight back. Lead change number 6. Pies by 4 points. 5-6-36. Adelaide 5-2-32. As we tick into time on in the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Oh, you love that run. Well, still side bottom. So he started through half back. Yeah, it's just pure gut running. You're looking at, so they turn the ball over. Josh Dacos with a barrel. Well, what we thought was a barrel, and that just causes a little bit of chaos. I think Membry probably got away with a little push there. It's a great contest by Myercheck. Just to force that ball, Elliott, little handball, Long, another little handball, then Sidebottom's able to finish it. But you watch Sidebottom in the run. He's ran 120 metres to kick that goal, and Now, any young footballer watching it, that's what work rate is all about.
Vintage side bottom. It's a classic fat side wing play, isn't it? He was in line with Dacos, wasn't he? The day at half back. And he bobs up and kicks the goal. Much needed goal, it must be said, for Collingwood this quarter.
Closing in on 200 goals in the AFL as well. 2 away from that. Cameron taps it down. McCreary paddles it on. Riley O'Brien, the big ruckman, tracking back, wins it. Nick Dacos worries them out of it. Loose footy inside 50. Dacos picks it up, gives it off to Long. Here's Crisp, and that is Collingwood. Knock on Sir John, goal. Out by 10 points. 6-6-42, plays 5-2-32. 21 minutes into the second. Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball.
No, good call, Benny. That is vintage Collingwood. Classic, just surge footy. Nothing pretty about it. Just getting black and white jerseys around the footy. Numbers just overwhelming the Crows here. Who had the bigger, probably just had to realise that the pressure was coming, the big fella, and turn around and get it going the other way. Ned Long's had a good little patch here. Couple of goal assists for him. Just surging out of the centre square. That's what they can do, this Collingwood team. Dacos involved. Got the sense that they just, even the crowd feeling it a bit too, Rama. Yep. They just needed a bit of a lift here. Dominated the first 15 minutes of that quarter for no result. Bang, bang. First time they've been able to get 2 goals in a row.
2 goals in 2 minutes for the Magpies. Back in the middle, there's Long again. Bally got it out towards Sullivan. High kick out to the wing, but Curtin, the youngest man on the ground at 20, takes the mark. Collingwood by 10, 23 gone second quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. And the Crows with it at the moment, short kick to Laird.
Yeah, just recognising that the Pies are up and got the momentum at the moment. Just taking the sting out of the contest a bit, the Crows.
High bomb. Down the line, hands on it from Dawson, no mark, spills to the ruckman. O'Brien got it to Taylor, away to Rankin. His hand pass picked off by Quaynor. Handball to Frampton. Collingwood back with it, half back. Maynard, long hand pass to Sidebottom, didn't take possession, tried to whack it on. Now he's got a problem. He slides in and catches O'Brien high. And a free kick for the Crows between wing and half forward. O'Brien sends him into the pocket. There's Fogarty again, who's had it on a string in this quarter. Ray Chamberlain is on the boundary, and Ray, I notice you're putting on a few extra layers.
This is Ben Cameron's fault. Week after week, Ben, you let me down.
I could just feel it. It got gloomy. It felt like it was about to rain, Ray.
I thought you were pretty emphatic with your weather report before the game, Ray.
Manifest.
It's all done.
I'm all about the manifestation, and Ben Cameron will be having words at half time.
Darcy Fogarty from wide out at left half forward. The drop punt sails goalward, and the goal umpire's left with nothing to do but signal 4 points. What a kick from out wide in the wet. And Fogarty's got 3 in the quarter. 6-6 to 6-2. Brings it back to a 4-point game. Collingwood's lead at the 24-minute mark of the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Bally called it, where Laird had the ball right in front of the Shane Warne stand, and it was just smart. He just slowed it down. Whether it's for 10 seconds only, it just takes a little bit of the edge off the game for that moment there, because Collingwood were playing the game in chaos as they wanted it, whereas Adelaide wanted to just get some control back there. So really smart play by the veteran in Rory Laird, just to slow the tempo down. Wasn't pretty how they got that ball going forward there, the Crows, but Fogarty good enough to nail it from the boundary.
Multiple goals in 8 of his 9 games this year, Fogarty. Sullivan goes and retrieves it. Centre half back there for the Pies. His kick up and under, and Nankervis. He was brave as he marks for the Crows in the middle of the ground. Moves it out wide towards his skipper in Dawson. Backward of the Go Foundation logo on the southern wing. Dawson pokes it on to Rory Laird, the 3-time Malcolm Blight medalist at the Crows. He goes short again. On to Max Michaelani, son of Jim, and what a player he's become. Worrell, in fact, who sends it long inside 50. He's become a handy player too, off the hands of the pack. Maynard shovels out a handball towards Nick Dacos. He carries it out. And we'll get a throw in half-forward flank here for the Crows, attacking that city end. Collingwood by 4 points, 25 minutes into the second. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
So it's not just cold, it's now wet as well at the MCG. 4-point lead for the Pies. And first real wintry day of the season so far here in Melbourne. For the boundary throw-in, O'Brien wins the hit out. Nick Dacos roves it though for Collingwood. Hand pass to side bottom, tumbles a kick down the wing. Laird collects, hand pass goes back to Worrell. He can send it inside 50 again for Adelaide. They all miss it. Slides through to Fogarty. Got a hand pass away trying to set up Rankin. It's out of bounds. Rankin in frustration looks back at Darcy Fogarty. He's probably thinking, mate, I'm getting tackled to the ground. That was the best I could give you. He's got a boundary throw in forward pocket for the Crows.
So Nick Dacos has had 1 kick and 12 handballs for the game.
Take that if you're Matty Nix, wouldn't you? O'Brien slapping it down, Rankin coming through, somehow shovels out a handball. Quaynor goes in, Fogarty tackles him, ball up.
Well, we don't harp on
attacking goal.
Sorry, Benny. Kick to handball ratio, especially now the rain's tumbling down. Pies need to get the ball in their boot a bit more.
O'Brien puts it right down beneath himself for Rankin, but no running room.
38 kicks, 48 handballs. So it's actually gotten worse this quarter.
O'Brien taps it down. Nick Dacos gets it. A kick here for him. Clearing kick, and Membry, good grab. Marks back flank for Collingwood. And a little bit of respite for them.
Handball away to Nick Dacos. There's his second kick rammer as he goes long down the wing. Punched away by Cox. Ball roved though by Hinge of the Crows. Hand pass to Laird. Handball out to Miller. Tackled by Hill. Just got boot to ball. Trickles down the wing. Side bottom back to Nick Dacos. He's got the kicking boots on now. High bomb to centre half forward, and Ed Allen camped underneath at Marks.
He didn't see him, did he? Can we give Nick credit for that? It's almost like he heard you.
Well, no, I think he heard.
Since you said that, he's had 4 kicks.
Yeah. But I actually think they heard you as well. Just get the ball in the boot.
Ball in the boot. Yeah, I mean it's obvious, isn't it? And it's under 12 footy. Rain's coming down. Let's take our yards. Stop flicking around.
Very cerebral footballer. He's probably working it out on the run too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ed Allen kicks from about 55 metres out. The kick right to the line, and it's punched through. He's had 1 goal previously. The son of Dan Allen, the Hawthorn Premiership player, Fremantle's inaugural captain. What did you say before, Ben? You played less than 50 games, Ben Allen, for the Dockers.
47.
Sort of associate him as a huge part of the club's history, quite rightfully, as the inaugural skipper, but not as many games as perhaps you'd think.
Laird with the kick up to the wing. O'Brien got his hands to it. So too Darcy Cameron. He comes down with the foot. He tried to claim it. Maynard picks it up. Collingwood away with it. Josh Dacos forward handball. Maynard slaps it on. There's Ed Allen again. Close to the boundary line. Out of play it goes, and we'll get a throw in. Ed Allen just catching the eye of the 2 first names chairman of selector as well. He's making a case. Collingwood by 5 points, 28 minutes into the second term.
Ben Allen had that nasty knee injury at Fremantle that just slowed him completely down.
O'Brien palms it down for Adelaide to Rochelle. Hurried kick down the wing, and Howard gets underneath it, takes the intercept mark. Rain continues to fall. It was a gloomy old day in Melbourne. A forecast top of just 13 degrees. Howe sends it down the line. Oh, Cameron, an inadvertent chest mark landed in his lap.
It's 50.
Tries to draw them out on the mark. The umpire's a little forgiving. He went twice. First to the for the handball.
I like that by the umpire.
Common sense.
Yep. Second time for the kick as he goes inboard to Maynard, long into the pocket, and here's Membry. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
Yeah, that's fantastic umpiring from umpire Jacob Mollison. They've all been instructed that if the player feigns but doesn't step off his line, so it's not play on, but he's feigned the handball, and the player on the mark corrects themselves, do not pay 50.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Well umpired.
A tough kick this for Membry. Wide out left half forward. He'll have to walk back inside the field of play, and he'll have to stay on his line now. After the half-time siren, he's missed near side the whole set. So we've got our half-time score, and it remains Collingwood 6-7-43, Guana. The Crows 6-2-38, a 5-point advantage for the Magpies at half-time. A game which has had 6 lead changes so far. It was a quarter which featured 3 goals for Darcy Fogarty. It's also his tally for the match, 1 each for Rochelle, Walker and Rankin. Meanwhile, the 6 goals for Collingwood made up of 6 individual goal kickers. Houston, Sidebottom, Hill, Crisp, Membry and Hoskin Elliott. Houston kicked the first of the day for those keeping score. And it is properly raining now.
Yeah.
As the rain really picks up with a bit of force and throwing it down here right on the halftime break. The floodlights are on. You can't spot any blue sky at all. And winter is certainly coming, a couple of weeks away. And this is a proper wintry day in Melbourne, 12 degrees. But we've still had a pretty good game of footy, which we're most chuffed about. Saturday footy here on ABC Sport. Collingwood by 5 points. All right, the thoughts of our premiership pair, Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas.
We have had a good game of footy, Rama, and two good sides, so that's what we expected coming in. And it has been a game of momentum shifts. Probably the one thing that has stood out, and you've heard us, if you've been listening, you've heard us refer to it significantly over the first. It's just Collingwood's overuse of handball a little bit. Take even the conditions out. I think when you come up against this Adelaide team, number one team in the competition at scoring from turnovers, taking that risk and we know that Collingwood at their best like that chaotic, keep the ball in motion style of footy. But I think credit to Adelaide, they've been up for it today, and a lot of the times they've forced Collingwood into overuse, into over handball, and it's played into their hands. And then as the rain came down in that last 10 minutes, you could tell a noticeable shift in Collingwood's ability just to get the ball on the foot and take the yards. And I thought, Josh Dacos, it was Nick in that second quarter, but Josh Dacos has been terrific. He's had 17 disposals for the Pies, 409 metres gained, which is clearly number one on the ground. So that's a really good example of that. And get the ball forward, get a contest from our key forwards, and then let our smalls, which is a strength of ours and a potential weakness of the Crows. We mentioned their key defenders have been pretty solid.
Yep.
But when the ball hits the ground, that's where there's a bit of a question mark over their sort of mid-sized defenders. So when you think about Hill and Elliott and McCreery up against those sort of mid-sized defenders who prefer to support aerially, that's potentially, if we think this rain's set in now, potential strength for Collingwood in this second half. But pretty even battle through the middle of the ground. The pressure's been pretty strong. Good ruck battle, I think. I liked O'Brien's game. It's been a pretty good battle with Darcy Cameron. No mid apart from Jordan Dawson, who's probably crying out for a little bit of help. Rankin's had some moments. Peatling's been okay. Laird more across halfback. Jordan Dawson, a bit of a lone hand through the middle of the Crows, through the middle of the ground rather for the Crows, has stood out. But other than that, it's been pretty sort of decent arm wrestle, Rammer, I think, through the middle of the ground for both teams.
Yeah, I also think where Collingwood are keeping themselves in this game is ground ball gets. So they've really dominated that stat in the first half. So plus 24 for the half, but that's then probably invited a little bit of the over handball, the pressure that the Crows want. It's sort of like, you can go and get that ball on the ground, but then we'll be on you. We'll be on you quickly. Darcy Fogarty was terrific that quarter with the 3 goals. One of those 3 Crows in Thilthorpe, Walker or Fogarty was always going to get off the chain at some stage. Without Darcy Moore in the team, it just means Jeremy Howe or Frampton have got obviously 2 of those, but then the third one, who's the matchup? There's no real matchup for that third one. Frampton had to go to Fogarty in the end to try and quieten him down. So that's something I think Craig McRae will look at half time. Look, it's a great game. It's a great battle. I think right at the moment it's 2 very contrasting styles. Adelaide are kicking the ball, 104 kicks, 53 handballs. Collingwood 94 kicks, 96 handballs.
They have to change that, don't they?
They have to.
Time. Yeah, I think regardless of the weather, but especially now because of the rain. I think, Benny, you mentioned it, with Collingwood, with their experience and their senior players, you'll see a noticeable shift. Thought we did as the rain came down. Even Nick Dacos, you said, up to that point, only the 1 kick. And in the space of a couple of minutes, he took yards and kicked the ball forward. I think he had 3 kicks in that sort of 5-minute burst. So, I think that'll be a big part of it. And then just little things. I think, as this game goes on, and we expect it to be pretty tight, little 1%ers getting a hand in, chasing, tackling, keeping your feet. It's going to be a big part of it. Spending a little bit more time over the footy in these sort of conditions will tell the tale in this second half.
The thoughts there of Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas, just repeating the tragic news and the tragic death of Adam Selwood overnight. Our thoughts absolutely with the entire Selwood family and the footy community more broadly, which is grieving again today, far too soon after the death of Adam's twin Troy back in February. Adam Selwood passing away last night over in Perth. So, of course, if any of this is troubling for you and anyone out there that is struggling, there is 24-hour support available through Lifeline. 13 11 14 is the number. That's 13 11 14. It's half-time here at the MCG. Collingwood by 5 points. The second half action not far away. But first, the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Good afternoon. afternoon, Sarah Hall with ABC News. The AFL community and his family are mourning the heartbreaking loss of Adam Selwood just 3 months after the death of his brother Troy. More from Natasha Shapova.
Adam Selwood moved to Perth from the regional Victorian town of Bendigo after he was drafted by the West Coast Eagles in 2002. The club remembers the 41-year-old as a great teammate who loved the club and loved his footy and left a legacy by setting up an AFLW program. His wife, Fiona Selwood, says Adam was a loving husband and an incredible father to his 2 children, Lenny and Billy. His death comes just months after his twin brother, former Brisbane Lions player Troy Selwood, died by suicide. Troy was farewelled in a funeral at Cardinia Park in Geelong, with Adam and his younger brothers, Scott and Joel, delivering eulogies.
The Australian government says it's appalled at the sham trial and 13-year sentence given to Australian Oscar Jenkins by Russia. Mr. Jenkins had been fighting with Ukrainian forces before being captured late last year. Foreign Minister Penny Wong says Mr. Jenkins is a prisoner of war and must be given protections, including being treated in accordance with international humanitarian law by Russia. Senator Wong says Australia continues to hold serious concerns for him and is advocating for his welfare and release. Ukraine's major European backers have rallied behind the country after the first direct peace talks between Kyiv and Moscow in 3 years ended without a 30-day ceasefire. Russian and Ukrainian delegates in Turkey did agree on the largest prisoner of war exchange so far, as the BBC's Vitaly Shevchenko reports.
Up until the talks started, Ukrainian officials have been saying what we need is an immediate ceasefire lasting at least 30 days. That didn't happen. The head of the Russian delegation, Vladimir Medinsky, only said the 2 delegations had agreed to exchange their visions of how this is possible. Another thing the Ukrainians were demanding is a meeting between Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. And the Russians, they took note of the request. So they're still outlining their vision of what should happen.
The mother of Liberal leader Susan Lee has died just days after her daughter became the party's new leader. In an emotional statement, the opposition leader says her mother passed away in the early hours of this morning. Ms. Lee says her mum was able to hang on to see one more special moment in her daughter's life, and says when she went to visit her after winning the leadership, her mum's eyes lit up. The Prime Minister is in Rome to attend Pope Leo XIV's inauguration Mass on Sunday. Foreign Affairs reporter Stephen Jedgetts is travelling with Anthony Albanese.
The Prime Minister's only in Rome for some 2.5 days, but he's got a packed schedule for that period. The inauguration of the new Pope is a significant moment, not just for the 5 million Australians of the Catholic faith, but also for Catholics around the world. And it's a significant moment also for Mr. Albanese, who was raised as a Catholic. On top of that, he's going to become the first Australian Prime Minister to actually attend a papal inauguration mass like this since the 1970s, when Australia formally established diplomatic ties with the Vatican.
A 28-year-old man who allegedly stabbed one immigration detention centre contractor and assaulted another has been arrested and charged. On Thursday morning, officers were called to a suburb in Sydney's west over reports a 54-year-old man had been stabbed and a 36-year-old man had been assaulted. The man has been refused bail and is expected to appear at Parramatta Local Court on Sunday. Quarantine controls remain in place at a northern Victorian tomato grower after another detection of a destructive plant virus. Charmaine Manuel reports.
Kattunga Fresh was put into quarantine in January and stood down more than 100 workers after authorities found the tomato brown rugose fruit virus on site. Stringent testing of seedlings as they arrived led to the latest detection. Agriculture Victoria says it's unlikely the virus originated from the site, as the seedlings had only been on the property for a few days. The seedlings were sourced from a commercial nursery in New South Wales, which has no previous detections of the virus. The first bout of the virus in Kattunga spread from South Australia, where growers have destroyed thousands of plants.
For more news at any time, you can download the ABC Listen app.
The Kimberley is like nowhere else on earth.
Join Mark Cole-Smith for an incredible journey.
This is a story about the landscape we call home.
The Kimberley, Tuesday nights on ABC TV and ABC iView.
The footy might stop with the final siren, but with ABC AFL, the conversation keeps rolling. Get ABC AFL Daily Podcast with Premiership coach Paul Roos alongside Corbin Middlemass, Ben Cameron and Poppy Penny.
From walking on thin ice to dancing on the mountaintop.
It's your daily footy conversation. Find it on the ABC Listen app. This is the Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
Keane takes the intercept mark, short to Neil Bullen. Adelaide back the other way.
They're out here.
A lot of tired players, a lot of continuous footy as Peatling receives it, kicks long to Fogarty. Fogarty heads for home. It's a good option. It's a goal for Fogarty. His second. Membry wins the footy, kicks inside 50 for Collingwood. Myercheck. Hinge breaks it up. Ball hits the deck. Elliott's there where he should be. Gives it to Long. Handball to side bottom. The ageless one. Side bottom goals. And Collingwood take the lead straight back.
Riley O'Brien, the big ruckman, tracking back, wins it. Nick Dacos worries them out of it. Loose footy inside 50. Dacos picks it up, gives it off to Long. Here's Crisp, and that is Collingwood. Knock on Sir John, goal.
Sidebottom didn't take possession, tried to whack it on. Now he's got a problem. He slides in and catches O'Brien high. And a free kick for the Crows between wing and half forward. O'Brien sends him into the pocket. There's Fogarty again. Darcy Fogarty from wide out at left half forward. The drop punt sails goalward and the goal umpire's left with nothing to do but signal 4 points. What a kick from out wide in the wet.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
A dark and gloomy day at the MCG. We've had a pretty good game of footy so far with 6 lead changes and Collingwood by 5 points at the half. 6-7-43 over Adelaide at 6-2-38. The weather somewhat appropriate for really the sentiment in the footy world today after the tragic passing of Adam Selwood, which we have touched on throughout the broadcast. Of course, it follows Troy's tragic death back in February, and now Adam as well. So unimaginable grief for the Selwood family and for the footy community whose hearts are breaking today. There was a statement from Fiona Selwood and the entire Selwood family released earlier today that reads as follows: "We are heartbroken by the passing of Adam earlier today. Words cannot express the grief and sadness we feel. Adam was a loving husband and incredible father to Lenny and Billy. We are devastated to lose such a wonderful husband, father, son and brother. We will miss Adam deeply, his spirit, his kindness and the joy that he brought to every room. His determination, the lessons he shared and his infectious personality will stay with us always. Adam had a unique ability to make people feel special, and our family was lucky to experience that every day. We kindly ask for privacy as we navigate this time." That is from Fiona Selwood, a statement earlier today.
I'm not really this kind of person, Corb, but we're looking out at the MCG right now. I'm not sure if you boys can see it, but there is a sun shower taking place in a rainbow that ends right in the middle of the MCG.
So it's a tragic loss. There's no other way to chop it up. 2006 Premiership player, played international rules series as well in 2008. 187 games for the Eagles across an 11-year span. That of course includes that Premiership in 2006. So Adam Selwood, valet, and of course if any of this is troubling to you, there is support available 24/7 through Lifeline on 13 11 14. Your thoughts on the SMS throughout the day here at the MCG, and of course the footy continues on ABC Sport. There are 2 games played in the twilight, so the next time slot to follow us just after 4 o'clock Eastern. That includes GWS and Fremantle, so for those listeners throughout WA and in New South Wales, you'll be getting the game between the Giants and the Dockers. And then, of course, for everybody else, it'll be Geelong, who make the trip to Adelaide, a ground which they've got a pretty good record at. They've won their last 4 there. So playing Port Adelaide, and that is coming up next here on ABC Sport. Paul from Mount Dunedin off the SMS, can you please ask Razor, does the kicking in danger rule still exist? Aren't we protecting the hands and the head as well? We'll put that to Ray when he's back on the boundary. It's obviously half-time at the moment, but I'll keep that one up there, Paul, for you. Brendan from Hobart says, Stumpy, how's the golf membership going? I think that one's for you, Ben.
How did you know?
It's addressed to you.
The nickname Stumpy that I absolutely love, I must admit. I don't really mind it. I like it. So I'm happy to keep running with that. It's coming along. I'm moving up the wait list.
There's more questions for Ray here. One from Chris in Tabletop in New South Wales. We'll put that to him in just a moment. And from Petey in Bairnsdale, a question: if the AFL are determined to stand out the ducking of the head, then why aren't they subject to video review like any other incidents? Or is it too difficult? Cheers, boys, and great calling. What do you reckon? Should we do more to try and stamp out, or is there a way that somehow on review or through the MRO that they can try and stamp that out?
What, suspend someone for ducking their head?
I don't know where it's all like staging. I think you dish out a fine.
Well, there's a bit of talk around there is a players getting fined for staging. There was talk around after the Thursday night game with the little Hawthorn forwards, seemingly pretty proficient at getting free kicks for high contact. It's for one thing, it's very instinctual for some players, isn't it? It's a bit like, I liken it to, Nick Watson dropping to try and obtain a high contact free kick. It's a bit like Dustin Martin's natural instinct was to fend off with a hand. I think we're getting better at not paying those when and we've heard Ray talk about it as well, when the player is the sole contributor to the high contact. There's still an onus on the tackler to execute a fair tackle, and we saw on today that Jeremy Howe over there on the boundary came in a bit too, and so that was a correctly paid free quick kick, even though the Adelaide player had lowered and to an extent contributed to the high contact. And so
it's got to be on the players though, doesn't it? Like the players
change their behaviour. But my point is, Nick Watts is not going to change that.
Yep.
He's been doing it. He's 5'6". He's been doing it forever.
But to people at the club, so it almost needs to be a competition-wide thing where basically his coaches, his management team, and his family and friends basically say, Nick, the free kick is not worth getting concussed.
Yep.
So if you put your head in there and you end up walking away with a concussion.
That's right. I'm sure Sam Mitchell will be trying to coach it out of him, mate. You've got to try something else.
That could be a life-changing injury. I mean, we know the brain trauma and everything that goes along with a concussion.
But if it's officiated right, they should say that is prior opportunity. If you duck, have the ball and then duck and put your head into harm's way.
That's the rule.
Yeah, just officiate it properly.
No, they are. And that's the idea, to try and change behaviour. My point is that with some players, it's so ingrained
just don't call it.
It's going to take a long time
to
change behaviour.
Like Ginnivan, they stopped calling it because he did it so often. I always look at who's initiating the contact. So that last play, Nick Watson on Thursday night, he initiated that contact.
Yep.
He led with his head. So it's play on.
But we now, surely the players, though, can just, they need to take control of this.
That's what I'm getting at. If it's not paid, they'll stop doing it.
My point is we're seeing less of it.
Okay.
Some players, Nick Watson's been doing it his whole life because he's 5. It's his way, like Martin fends off, like Selwood. It's players' way of getting free, not necessarily to get a free kick. Yeah, that's right. So it's just going to take time. I've got no doubt that Sam Mitchell will be coaching him to say, mate, I reckon we've got to try and find another way.
No doubt. He's better than that.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a better player than that. So, and I'm not Nick's not the example because there's others that do it as well.
Absolutely.
So, but we're talking as the incident on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm not making this up. Off the SMS here, Bally. 0437774774, the SMS number. Signed Swanee. Can you ask Bally how he likes his steak?
I feel it medium, knowing that it tends to come out a little bit under. So I find that most restaurants, if you say medium,
you'll get medium rare.
You'll get medium to medium rare.
Okay.
No, fair call.
Yeah,
especially with a sort of 200 to 300 gram eye fillet.
I'm a medium operator.
I'm going to my favourite steak restaurant on Friday, the Railway in Port Melbourne. There, they do an outstanding steak.
Porterhouse.
I change it up a little bit. I had the rump last time, and I thought it was absolutely delicious.
Why is Swanee, your former premiership teammate, texting us that?
It's a great question. I think we must be having a steak coming up.
Collingwood by 5.
Find me on his podcast, that's why.
Collingwood by 5 points. Second half upon us. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport, and here's Ben Cameron.
Rankin with the clearance. High ball towards half forward. There to mop up. Josh Dacos sits under the high ball, takes the mark. Kicks to his brother Nick, as they so often do, just waxing. And Nick Dacos wide out. Collingwood by 5 points. Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Knows how the ball just finds Josh Dacos sometimes, doesn't it?
Nick kicks around towards side bottom. One of yours and Swanee's former teammates, a premiership teammate back in 2010. Side bottom with the mark paid on the wing.
Tends to come into his own in these conditions too, side bottom.
He's a very good wet weather player.
Ooh. Kicks a floater up towards half forward, and Rankin's there to mark.
How often does that happen in our game?
Yeah, too often.
Rankin with the intercept mark, kicks down the wing. Phil Thorpe the target. Frampton does well to spoil. Josh Dacos, hand pass meant for side bottom, missed him, and in the end it slides out of bounds. Ray Chamberlain's back in position. It's pretty damp down there, Ray.
There's no bad weather, boys, just bad fashion. I got this.
It hasn't, well, it's about to say it has eased up a little bit. Probably the heaviest rain we had was during half time.
Can I ask you a serious question? Like, how would you change how you umpired in wet weather, Ray?
No, I think the main thing is protecting the ball player. So the player with their head over the ball, making sure the tackle's legal. That's where all your free kicks are. It's holding, it's high contact, it's in the back. So you want the players going hard at the ball. And the other thing you need to do is delay the whistle. There's no prizes for getting on that thing first. They'll cough up the marks and those sorts of things. So just slow it all down.
But from the boundary throw in, Peatling got side bottom high. So contest kick down the wing, spills down to Rankin. He's the next possession again here. Sends it down to half forward. The tangle between Howe and Walker. Howe clever. Paddles it to Frampton.
Frampton kicks up to the wing. Hinge beelines the footy. Clean pick up. Half volley. Beautiful work. Handball to Peatling. Crows on the wing. Handball to Rankin. Now Dawson usually uses it well. Kicks high into the pocket. Looking for a Shelley. Frampton gets there late. In fact, he didn't. Out on the full one, boundary umpire. Well, the boundary umpire has called it. So Frampton to get the kick. I thought he got a hand to it.
How was he sitting there by himself? Josh Rochelle in the forward pocket.
Popped up out of a sprinkler head. Frampton kicks in the Cameron direction. O'Brien there with him. Butts too. Butts brings it down. Quick kick from Cumming towards half forward. Houston in front. Marks for the Pies. Back flank. Collingwood lead it by 5 points. No score yet in this second half.
Lost a boot here too. They might have changed the socks at half time, but now they're going to be soaking.
Exactly.
No.
Worse, Paulie.
Oh, they're going to be soaking wet.
Did you guys get changed much in game? Like,
I changed my socks at half time.
Yeah,
socks.
Or if the shorts were wet, I'd change that as well.
Only when it was wet or every game?
Every game. Yeah.
Right.
No.
I was a sweater.
Houston for the back flank. Kicks down the wing. Good mark from Myercheck. Actually, that's a reasonably big concern, isn't it, for players, particularly early in the new season, as Myercheck handball away to Josh Dacos, kicks down the line and it's out of bounds half forward for the Pies. The blisters are
shocking.
I saw a footballer, might have been Cooper Hamilton actually, a former Giant. He makes all these game day blogs now and playing in the VFL, but he's putting Vaseline on the outside of his socks. So basically, socks on, then Vaseline on top into the boot. Apparently it prevents blisters. It's the way to do it.
Friction.
Riley O'Brien hacks it out of mid-air with his boot. Sockers it forward from the boundary throw. Pendlebury can't pick it up cleanly, and a throw-in in front of the members. When I was at Subiaco in the WAFL, a player got blisters, popped one of them, had a golden staph infection and missed the first half of the year with that. So it can be dangerous too. Pies by 5 points. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Boundary umpire brings it back in on the wing. O'Brien reaches from the back, taps it down. Out after it, Hinge. Spins out of trouble as well. Kicks it end over end up towards half forward. Just looking for territory. Maynard and Fogarty and out of play. Throwing half forward for the Crows.
Big roll now for Maynard. He's got that matchup of Darcy Fogarty. He might have hurt his hand here on the advertising signage.
They're sharp, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
The advertising.
Yeah.
The LED signs.
Yeah, so he did his very best to try and touch it in another position, but just high on the boards, and he's still looking at his palm at the moment, wringing out his hand, Maynard, as he walks into defence. Boundary throw in half forward for Adelaide. Long wins it on his backside. Got a hand pass away to O'Brien, has to knock it out. His side bottom, who's tackled immediately, and a ball up in the same spot.
These are good netball conditions. He does look sore.
Yeah, the binoculars there, Benny.
5 point lead for Collingwood. Early stages, third term. Saturday footy, ABC Sport. Ball up half forward for the Crows. Side bottom, Sockers at 30 metres down the wing. Myercheck collects and tackled out of bounds. Spin it in, says the umpire.
Hard bodies, the order of the afternoon now. Isaac Rankin's had 5 possessions in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. Just pushing forward now.
I've got 2 questions for you, Ray, as well, that we'll weave in this third quarter off the SMS. Collingwood by 5.
Umpire Ian Burrows, the boundary umpire, tosses it in on the wing. Neither ruck decisive. It spills out to McCreary. He's tackled quickly there by Cumming. Ball up on the logo on the wing. Umpire Meredith comes in, puts it aloft. Cameron bounces through his legs in the end. Long picks it up for the Pies, gives it off to Pendlebury. Dump kick up to half forward. Bouncing ball. Keen out after it. Myercheck right there with him. Keeps it in initially and then it slides out.
All right, Ray, one from Paul in Mount Dunedin. Can you please ask Razor about the kicking in danger rule? Does it still exist? Aren't we protecting the hands as much as the head?
Yeah, so what we're looking for there is an indiscriminate act likely to cause injury. I know it's a mouthful, so if there's a little toe poke, no dramas, but if they start woofing the foot through and it's near their head or hand, that's when you're most likely to see free kick paid.
Collingwood by 5 points. Scrappy footy on the wing. Picked up neatly there by Hinge, who's been good to start this second half. Beautiful handball. Releases Peatling. Shanks his kick. Dribbles off the instep. Socket on cleverly by Neil Bullen. Up to half forward for the Crows, but the Pies are there. Frampton wants the boundary line. Looked like a rugby player just crashing over the try line. And we'll get a throw in half forward here for the Crows. Collingwood by 5 still, as we were at the half.
This from Chris in New South Wales. Can you please ask Ray about the explanation or to explain the interpretation of the ruck duels, particularly from boundary throw-ins, which we're witnessing one now. As O'Brien palms it down, here's Dawson over the footy, Sockers back into the corridor. Adelaide will work it out, Nankervis collects. Handball away to Laird. Back to Worrell, just jams it on the boot. In the end, it's a spiral inside 50 and Curtin takes the mark, 20 out straight in front.
Yeah, not good enough, Dan Houston.
Just wasn't watching the foot, watching the ball.
Just there's no urgency to get into that contest with Curtin. Curtin only had his eyes on the ball. So Houston had to go back a lot harder than that, make body contact. Try to take Curtin off the line of the ball.
This would be a superb start on a cold, wet day at the G. To open the second half. Oh, Curtin misses. Out to the left. There's a sitter, 25 out straight in front, not to be. 8 minutes into this third quarter, and Collingwood now by just 4 points.
To be no certainties in this second half, is there? You've got to really make sure of it. Spend a bit of time, extra time over the footy.
Howe with the long exiting kick. Cox hands to it, does his own roving. Handball to Nick Dacos. Pies back flank. Side bottom. Quaynor. Josh Dacos. Off to brother Nick. He'll switch the play. Kicks to the other back flank. Ed Allen accepts it. Now he looks out to the southern wing. Hoskin Elliott searching lead. He's got it on his chest. Ignores the Elliott lead. Looks further afield. Comes infield with the kick. Onto the chest of Pendlebury. Just forward of the logo. Southern side of the ground. Collingwood by 4. Pendlebury goes back out wide. Spots up Bruzzy Maynard. And he's got the football.
I haven't forgotten about Chris's question to Ray as well. So basically the key premise of the question was boundary throw-ins, players wrestling with each other, the two ruckmen, about what are the rules and what are we looking for. As the long kick from Maynard down to half forward, spills down to Saligo of the Crows, hand pass away to Nankervis, kicks to Thilthorpe, who marks on the wing.
I think Ray needs a special segment on the Daily Pod.
I think he does.
Just question after question for Ray.
The whole SMS board is filled with our clarifications on certain rules as Ray makes us smarter and fills in our knowledge gaps every Saturday afternoon as Peatling looks back, corridor finds Miller, kicks inside 50. Oh, Rankin! He was behind side bottom and somehow took the juggled mark.
I think it's a mark, yeah. Yeah, no need to boo there for the Collingwood fans.
And that is a special bit of work from Isaac Rankin. He was standing behind Steele side bottom and took a juggled mark. But somehow he ended up with the footy. Side bottom pleads his case, but it's not going to change.
Let's have another look.
Yep.
On that.
Yeah, it's a mark.
Isaac Rankin, the key protagonist here last time they met. Skips inside the 50-metre arc. That is a wild kick.
Never looked confident.
He's missed the whole set.
Yeah, just even on the whole setup and the build-up to that set shot, he just didn't look confident.
Too straightforward.
10 minutes gone, third term. 4-point lead for Collingwood. I promise, Chris, next time the ball goes out of bounds, we'll get the Ray as quick as we can.
Josh Dacos tight ropes the boundary line. Kicks up to Cameron. Brings it down to the front. Crisp. Great handball. Out to side bottom. Kicks around the members' boundary line, up to Elliott, right there with him, Michael Annie. Elliott goes and wins it, dribbles a kick forward, Hinge gets a hand to it, has to pick it up, a couple of Pies, dispossessed to the footy, Nick Dacos soccers it on into the pocket. Back there to mop up, cleanly is Worrell. He just floats a kick back to the wing for the Crows. Side bottom, unopposed, takes it back for Collingwood.
Pies by 4. 11 played third term. Saturday footy ABC Sport. Side bottom short. Finds Cameron. Oh, cuts back inboard. Just got it to Perryman.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah. 18 players, 18 opponents in front of him here, Harry Perryman.
We were about to say, look at the number. There's the number 12 for Collingwood. Kicks it to full forward. Leaping up is Cox. No mark. Spills down to Cameron and we'll have a ball up. Deep inside 50 here for
so
the
you
Pies.
want Perryman there. He's 70 metres out from goal. Rather than just you almost want him to go sideways to try shift the Crows' defence to find a pocket.
Cox slaps it out to Bobby Hill, who has no room. How to play it goes. Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, so what we're looking here for this boundary throw in, the rules of the game are the same as marking. So we're looking for high contact if you're talking about free kick, push in the back, etc. If these two fellows make the ball their prime objective, their sole objective, a little 50-50 stuff, we don't get the umpires intervening. The one that gets you guys going absolutely nuts is if you see the ball hit the ground without them touching it. That's a real highlight for the umpires to look to play a free kick.
Thanks, Ray. Great insight as always. Frampton gets around Curtin on the wing, drives the Pies back inside 50, out the back. Myercheck carries it out, trying to turn there.
So the theory is that generally one person's held the other one out illegally from being able to contest it.
Basically, the intention and spirit of the law is what Ray is saying is marking contest.
It's good, isn't it?
Great
way to...
Side bottom's lifted here. 7 possessions for the quarter.
A more telling touch there for O'Brien as he whacks it back out of play, and we'll have a throw in here. Half forward for Collingwood. MCG staff doing their bit, and big screen reads, due to wet weather, please watch your step and stay safe. It's our first proper damp, wintry day of the AFL season so far. Just 12 degrees, cold and wet. And yet we've had a match with 6 lead changes. Collingwood by 4. Boundary throw in half forward for the Pies. Side bottom took a while. Got it out eventually. Back to the outer corridor. Oh, Sullivan had a play on it, not to be. Pendlebury hands it to Rochelle. He kicks wide for Adelaide. Walker and Quaynor out after it. They leave the footy behind. Hinge goes and gets it. Hand pass to Curtin. The lefty sends it down towards Thilthorpe. He's outnumbered. And Collingwood through Howe should be able to work it out.
Tracks it back. Handball away to Frampton. Back flank here for the Pies. Handball to Nick Dacos. Floats it back to Howe. Back inside the defensive arc. Maynard, Perryman. Perryman to Josh Dacos. Chaining handballs. Sweeps it to Pendlebury. He might kick it. No, he handballs it again. Maynard in the bullseye. He kicks it, charge down. Peatling knocks it down. Perryman sockers it out. Ed Allen comes in to apply help, but it's socket on there quickly by Nankervis. Collingwood get back. They mop up. Half-back flank. Perryman picks it up. Handball to Pendlebury again. And now the Pies are way down the wing.
Allen gets his second touch in the chain. Gives it to Maynard. Kicks out wide to Hoskin Elliott. Spills the mark. Regathers, trying to run around the ruckman. Nankervis comes to support, but the kick's headed deep. Inside 50. Elliott, clever. Knocks it out at mid-air to McCreary's advantage. He just paddles it back to Quaynor. Tries to get back on his right side. Kicks to full forward. Myercheck competes. Not to be. And in the end, Keen's trying to rush it through. Eventually takes it over the line under not a lot of pressure. The ump says it's okay, Ray, you're behind.
He's Quaynor. Just didn't scan the field. He had Hoskin Elliott drifting down. 30 metres of space.
5-point lead for Collingwood. You got us, Ray?
Yeah, Adelaide have got some movement on the bench here. They've activated their sub. Burial into the game. Tex Walker out, and we believe it's just a tactical switch.
Looking to go a little smaller with the wet weather. A loose footy. Half forward here for the Pies, but Adelaide extracted. Peatling dumps it on the boot. Spiral up towards half forward. Howe's there with Rochelle. Halves it, slaps it on. Back towards the wing. Arriving though, Curtin. He picks it up. Shrugs a high tackle there from Frampton.
No, it is. It's just a poor tackle. I mean, it's not Billy's go. We know that, but really sloppy. Yeah, Ray, you've got to take extra care, both with ball in hand and without.
Curtin moves it on to Rankin. Thoughts of Luke Ball. Collingwood by 5 points. Quarter hour mark here in the second. 50 from the spot last year where he ran too far. Rankin will be marched to 20 metres out, 45-degree angle.
I think that is the right call though, Corbs. So he went to stand, then he moved. Simple.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was looking at Quaynor for being
I wasn't sure. Was it Quaynor?
It's not Quaynor, it's the stand rule.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so penalty against McCreary. It's all over at Rama.
Isaac Rankin, who ran too far late in this game last year.
Still doesn't look as confident, does he, over a set shot, Isaac?
Watch his running here. It's a bit all over the shop.
He's already got one to flip the lead. Isaac Rankin.
It's
4 left.
His whole setup.
Why doesn't he?
An approach is just wrong.
Why doesn't he get into a run like he would kicking on the run?
Yeah.
And almost jogging.
Missed a lot. Collingwood still by 5.
16 gone, third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Trying to clear the Magpies. Picked off by Worrell. Hand pass to Dawson. Heads inside 50. Josh Dacos trying to take a mark fall into ground. Not to be. Spills out to Fogarty. He's tackled by Maynard. And there's a bit of feeling, a bit of push and shove. And Taylor Walker's not having any of it, as Ray told us. He's about to be subbed out when he next hits the bench. He's getting a last little bit of burn here. Taylor Walker before the tactical sub, and Sam Berry comes into the game. From the ball up, there's Taylor. Hand pass over his shoulder. Picked up by Quainer, and he's tackled. Do it all again. Centre half forward for the Crows. And that's not me referring to Walker as his Christian name. There is a Zach Taylor and a Taylor Walker in the same forward line.
Well, Thilthorpe hacks it out of the ball up towards full forward for the Crows, overrunning at Frampton. Ball tumbles out. Throwing coming. Doing the attacking here, Adelaide, but unable to find the major opening.
He's done a reasonable job, Billy has. I know he got that tackle wrong before, but Thilthorpe hasn't had a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, that's right. Tough day for key forwards, obviously, but he's done a good job. Jeremy Howe's been good too. In fact, both defences holding up pretty well, certainly this quarter. Only the 1 point each.
From the throw-in, both rucks miss it. Comes down for Thilthorpe. Handball out to Neil Bullen. To Rochelle. Off to Saligo. Snaps, goal, swings the lead.
Oh, they got away with a big one there, Thilthorpe.
Crows by 1. 7-3-45 plays 6-8-44. And finally, some reward for effort for Adelaide. 18 minutes into this third term.
Well, Borley, that should have been a free kick to Collingwood for holding the ball. Thilthorpe did not dispose of that ball in the ruck contest, so he's grabbed it. Mason Cox has got him, and the ball just basically drops. He tries to handball, but he's made absolutely no contact with the ball, so I think Collingwood can feel hard done by with that one. But great hands by Neil Bullen, then Rochelle and Saligo, a really quality finish.
Yeah, I mean, they can feel a little bit hard done by, but too much space there for the Crows small forwards. Neil Bullen, Saligo, he's had a quiet day under the 9 possessions, but too much space, 30 metres out from goal. Makes them pay.
Walker hits the bench. He's in the second row. The sub's been made, and we'll see Sam Berry in the game in a few moments. Back in the middle. Adelaide by 1. Handball from Quaynor goes forward. McCreary thought he was clipped high. He was, and he gets the free. The umpire slips over on the way in to officiate that.
Oh, Bo, he's got to wheel and go here.
It's too slow.
The crowd always finds that a little humorous as well when the umpire falls over. As McCreary goes long to full forward, they come from all directions, punched away by the Crows. On it is Elliott, jams it on the boot, kicks it over his head. It won't quite get to the line, and punched through eventually by Butts for a behind. This game is tied at 45, 19 gone in the third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, Rammer eloquently and accurately described what took place up the other end of the ground. Obviously, no prior opportunity, immediately tackled, and by Rammer's words, he attempted to handball, and that's all he's got to do. So whilst the whistle went to the umpire's mouth, the laws of the game dictate that that's play on.
Very into the game, under pressure here for the Crows on the back flank. Gets a handball away, but holding the ball. It is 7:20. Free kick for Crisp. Scores level. And Collingwood wish to wrestle back the lead.
360 twice.
Yeah. Crisp. Low ball into the pocket for the Pies. Up goes Cameron. Off his fingers out of play.
So just on that there, so if Thilthorpe had to grab the ball, Ray, and drop the ball, that's play on as well.
So the key thing there is does he control the ball and elect to just drop it? Because if he does, he hasn't attempted to handball or kick. So a free kick would be paid in that instance, Rammer, for incorrect disposal. The difference up the other end is he attempted to handball, and because he did not have a prior opportunity, it is play on.
Okay.
Adelaide work it out of their defensive 50 up towards the back flank, out of bounds, and a throw-in coming. Scores level. What a game we've got. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. First wintry afternoon here in Melbourne, and this will be us right through until the end of September, you would think, from here.
How good is it having rain?
Oh, outstanding.
All the refresher on the rules that we thought we knew and didn't quite understand. And you get a great insight on ABC Sport as to what the umpires are going through and trying to process, what they're looking for. Boundary throw-in, Saligo clipped high in the tackle by Cameron, and a free kick at half-back. The two number 14s. I dare say their jumpers will be different sizes, though, as Saligo goes long down the line. Fogarty flies for it, takes the mark. He's been good today. He's kicked 3 in the second quarter, and he wants to run around Maynard. He draws him on the mark. Boundary side's got to head off the left peg. Through the hands of Houston. Rankin wins at half forward. Hand pass to Berry. Great chase from Long. Affects the kick. And Allen takes the intercept mark on the behind line for Collingwood.
Moves it out to McCreery. They want to go down the southern wing, but McCreery is in go-slow mode in this third term. Holds it up.
Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Scores level. Corpin, Middlemass, Ben Cameron, Ray Chamberlain on the boundary. Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas.
Eventually McCreery kicks around the wing. Membry hacks the half volley up towards half forward. Over the top of it there, Cameron eventually slaps it out. Now Sullivan soccers it on into the pocket here, the Pies. Sullivan goes again, close to the boundary line. Laird bundles him out, throwing coming. Left forward pocket here for the Pies. Scores level, 22 played in the third.
That was outstanding by Ned Long. Just lunging, goal-saving tackle.
Both teams' pressure has stepped up, haven't they, to match the conditions today. Had 20 tackles for the quarter, Adelaide.
Cox and O'Brien both miss it. Out the back, Worrell with a clearing kick. Tumble punt up towards the wing. No mark there from Dawson. Down in front, Frampton dispossessed. Keys goes in. Quick kick towards the middle of the ground, and Howe's the only man there.
Pies well set up. A chance for them to launch. He's closest to the goals at the punt road end, and he's right on halfway. Hand pass for Collingwood to Houston. There's a long kick of the footy, and he drives it to the top of the goal square. Cox down there, hands on it from O'Brien, spills to Worrell. Got it away for the Crows. It's a hinge. Hand pass to Rankin, changed his mind and caught. Great chase down tackle, McCreery. Rankin went to kick it, decided against it, and McCreery came and got him. That's holding the ball.
Just persisted there by McCreery. Now Rankin knew he was closing, but he was in two minds what he wanted to do, Rankin. Handball to Dan Curtin or get the ball out of the danger zone. Get the ball out of the danger zone.
And he asked Dan Curtin a fair question, although just looking at the replay,
too far away
to Shepherd. So give the handball. Great chase from McCreery.
Any score is a go-ahead one as McCreery hooks it across the body. A goal's even better. Collingwood by that kick. 7-9-51. Adelaide 7-3-45. 24 minutes gone in the third term. And I make that lead change number 8 as his back and forth classic continues. Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball on ABC Sport.
He's an impactor, Rammer, isn't he, McCreery? It feels like he's had more than 9 possessions, doesn't it? 7 kicks, 2 handballs, but 6 score involvements. So there's the key. And really, that's his one wood, isn't it? That is just outstanding forward pressure. Look like the Crows were out. They had numbers wide as well. McCreery put his head down, put in the hard yards, and when he's run down a very quick player himself in Isaac Rankin. So sometime, and that's what the game today is going to demand, isn't it? From here on in, those sort of efforts can be the difference between winning and losing on a day like today.
Pies by 6. Saligo with the clearing kick. High ball to half forward there for the Crows, leaving it behind Quaynor. Rankin picks it up. Handball to Neil Bullen. Handball out in front of Peatling. Still beyond the arc. Dawson likes the look of the sticks. Sends it on goal, but tugs it. Misses to the right-hand side. Collingwood by 5 points as they work at the main break. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
A hurried entry. Quaynor the target. He's going to get a free. And at half-back, it's against Isaac Cumming, who arrived late and pushed him straight in the back. So Quaynor long down the line for the Pies. Cameron goes. Hill stays down, but it spills to Millerer. Adelaide win it. Saligo slick hands. Missed hinge. Bobby Hill's onto it. Clever. Toe poke out in front of Long. He soccers it further inside 50. Laird traps it. Hand pass out wide. Finds Worrell. He turns and kicks off the back flank. Nick Dacos amongst 4 Crows. And that turns out to be a fortuitous kick that lands in his lap. And Nick Dacos will have it right on the wing members' side. 5-point lead for Collingwood. Nick Dacos lays it up to the hot spot. Myercheck in the pack. Spills down towards O'Brien to the Crows, to Hinge. Handball away to Worrell. He's speared. That was like Edge from the WWE as Hill went straight through him. The ball comes to the boundary line and the says deliberate. Free kick Collingwood, and Membry will take it right half forward for the Pies.
And it's there. Clearly went to the boundary there. Worrell.
Yeah. Was it Worrell?
Was it Worrell? I think it was Worrell. Was it?
I think it was Laird.
Yeah, Worrell copped the big tackle from Bobby Hill.
And Laird knocked it out. Missed his teammate by a whole lot, but knew that there was insufficient intent there, and that is the rule. And Membry, right in front of the Collingwood race. He's had the second look from the same spot, one at the punt road end, one at the Ponsford stand end, and both of them, unfortunately for him, have ended the same way without a score. Magpies by 5, waning moments of the third term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Laird to take the kick. Beyond the defensive 50, O'Brien coming across, Dawson in front, Cameron ends up with the footy knocked out of his hand. Come with me, 50. Darcy Fogarty, the offending party. And Darcy Cameron will be marched to about 20 metres out, slight angle to the right.
Well, he's been one of the Crows' best. Darcy Fogarty today. What's he kick? 3 goals himself, but he might have given one back here. Just a little bit, we spoke about, didn't we, at half time. With the weather like this, those little things, 1%ers, a little bit of undiscipline. In a game of small margins, you don't want to be giving up what is, not on today, but relatively easy shot at goal here for the big fella.
It was in the coaches' votes last week. Trots in, laces through it. Darcy delivers. Collingwood out by 11. And believe it or not, that is a game-high lead either way. 8-9-57 plays 7-4-46. 28 minutes into the third. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, low-scoring game, Paulie. Just those little critical moments there. Fogarty thought it should have been play on. Touched. Jordan Dawson did get a hand on that ball. Umpire paid the mark. But just a critical little moment there that can swing. Like, as Benny said, it's the biggest margin of the day, and it's only 11 points. So, just critical little moments. If you win enough of those as a team, you generally win the game.
8 lead changes so far today. 11 points Collingwood's lead, having kicked the last 2. Mick Dacos, first possession at the restart. Hand pass and turnover. Here's Curtin. Tumbles a kick inside 50. Rochelli's got a couple to beat. Howe and Rochelli out after it. Howe punches it to the boundary line. And the says throw it in. Half forward for Adelaide. 29 minutes gone in the third. Different directions next. If you're in WA, you'll get GWS and Fremantle, so stick around for that. And the rest of the network, it'll be Port Adelaide and Geelong, the twilight game in Adelaide. If you've got the ABC Listen app, then you're in business. You can toggle between the two games, the AFL and AFL Extra buttons, all season long, every game through the ABC Listen app. From the stoppage, Curtin kicks to full forward, pushed away by Howe, and then Frampton rushes it through. It's all okay. We've had a little nervy one either way so far on the deliberate rush behind, but both of them going in the favour of the defender. Collingwood by 10, half-hour mark, third quarter.
Howe with the kick in, short to the back pocket, Nick Dacos. Plays traffic cop.
Yeah.
Waves the Pies team across to the southern wing. What are you seeing there, Borley?
It's inside 90 seconds. They're probably happy to shut this down here, the Pies.
Kicks up towards Cox. Right there with him is Keane. He knocks it down. Peatling there for the Crows. Quick kick forward. Gathering at Perryman. Pies back with it. Back flank. Handball to side bottom. Out of play it goes. So get the numbers over there. Maybe get it out of bounds. Yeah. Another repeat stoppage.
Yeah, just don't let the opposition score. That's really what it is.
They do it better than just about anyone. Do the Pies. Corbin Middlemash, Ben Cameron, Adam Ramanauskas, Luke Ball and Ray Chamberlain. Between the benches. Tap down there. Pinched quickly by Berry. Back to Laird. Crows retreating. Dawson has to get a kick away. Ricochets off bodies. McCreary soccers it inside 50. Knocked down by Michael Lanny. He's able to keep it in front of him, but Cox comes in. Collingwood with the numbers. Coughs it up though, Cox.
Adelaide end up with it as their handball from Laird finds Miller up now at the hinge against the boundary line. All the way coming back. It's a free kick coming all the way back to McCreary. So they pinged him for a throw.
The umpire was right there. We were blindsided up here.
Against Miller. So free kick for Collingwood. Miller will stand 52 metres out.
We know he's got the distance.
Yeah.
They kicked that behind early in this quarter from, right on the edge of the centre square.
Yeah, last minute of the third quarter. How much
heavier ball
how much
now.
jellies in the legs. Well, he's either got to have a crack, back himself, or just put it to the top of the square and see if they can't force a free kick.
24 seconds left on the game clock. He's told to move it on as he kicks hurriedly to fall forward. Elliott works his way to the front, takes the mark. And that is a heartbreaker for Matthew Nix and the Crows. And Elliott will get the last kick of the quarter.
That's just concentration by Jamie Elliott. So his direct opponent on that occasion was Isaac Cumming. And he just got the jump on him. Real smart. Elliott saw that McCreary was kicking a torpedo. Just got to the drop of the ball quickest.
This will hurt. In a seesawing game, the Magpies have it out to a new game high. Elliott with his first of the day. And Collingwood by 16 has returned for home. The Magpies 9-9-63. Gorner, the Crows 7-5-47. And Collingwood, after falling behind earlier in the quarter, kicked the last 3 goals of the term. And now they lead it by a game high 16. At 3/4 time. There's a few words being exchanged too as the two huddles disappear.
Yeah, Jamie Elliott, who barely says a word on the field.
Yeah,
he must have been copping a bit of a mouthful from the Crows players on the mark there, and just let them know. He was very happy to put that one through.
9-9 to 7-5, so a 16-point buffer. Incredibly, 9 different goal kickers for Collingwood. So down the page, Elliott, Houston, Cameron, then side bottom, Hill, Crisp, Membry, McCreary, Hoskin, Elliott. So in your budget, that's 22, 23, 25, 28, 31, 32. There's a numerical down the page, the goal kicking list for Collingwood. Meanwhile, for Adelaide, 3 for Darcy Fogarty and then singles for Rochelle, Walker, who's been subbed out tactically, Saligo and Rankin. Collingwood still yet to pull the trigger on their sub, which is Pat Lipinski. The thoughts of Rama and Bawley coming up next. It's 3/4 time here at the mighty MCG. And in a game with 8 lead changes, it's Collingwood by a game high 16 at 3/4 time. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Get your footy fix live and ad-free with the ABC Listen app. Whatever footy you're after, we've got you covered. Called by ABC Sport's expert commentary team. ABC Sport's coverage of the footy on the ABC Listen app. This is the Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
From the throw-in, both rucks miss it. Comes down for Thilthorpe. Handball out to Neil Bullen. To Rochelle. Off to Saligo. Snaps, goal, swings the lead.
Worrell got it away for the Crows. It's a hinge. Hand pass to Rankin. Changed his mind and caught. Great chase down tackle, McCreary. Rankin went to kick it, decided against it. And McCreary came and got him. That's holding the ball. Any score is a go-ahead one as McCreary hooks it across the body. A goal's even better. Collingwood by that kick.
Laird to take the kick. Beyond the defensive 50, O'Brien coming across, Dawson in front. Cameron ends up with the footy knocked out of his hand. Come with me, 50. Darcy Fogarty, the offending party, trots in, laces through it. Darcy delivers. Collingwood out by 11.
24 seconds left on the game clock. He's told to move it on as he kicks hurriedly to fall forward. Elliott works his way to the front, takes the mark. This will hurt. In a seesawing game, the Magpies have it out to a new game high. Elliott with his first of the day.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
It's been everything we hoped it would be so far. 8 lead changes and Collingwood threatening to blow it out here. They've kicked the last 3 to lead by a game high 16 at three-quarter time. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. All right, if you're in WA, you're off to the game between GWS and Freo coming up next. There's no late change. Harvey Thomas is the sub for the Giants. And for Fremantle, it is Bailey Banfield. For everybody else, it'll be Geelong, who make the trip over to Adelaide to play Port. Aaron Bryans is heading up the call there.
Corby, it's been a turbulent fortnight for Tiwi man Willie Rioli, but the stage is once again his for the taking in Sir Doug Nicholls' Indigenous round. He returns to face Geelong on Ghana land. The power known as Yada Bolty this afternoon, hoping he'll be the catalyst to snap their losing form against a Cats outfit that is licking their wounds after a rare home loss. Geelong get to welcome back defenders Jack Henry and Lawson Humphreys. Meanwhile, Port Adelaide missing a key back in Kane Farrell, but will be relieved that their star midfielder Jason Horne-Francis is warming up after a week of illness kept him out of training. We've got a pair of premiership stars in the box for the call as well, and Ebony Marinoff and Dean Brogan. Tom Wilson to call alongside me as well. As Indigenous round continues at the Adelaide Oval, it's Port Adelaide Yada Bolty up against Geelong, Corby.
Thanks, Az. Look forward to it. That's coming up next. So a double header in the twilight, which is unusual. And then
very unusual.
Yeah, then we'll all come back together tonight for the Bulldogs and the Bombers. Rammer and Bally, three-quarter time, Pies by 16.
Well, the problem with this game, right, is Adelaide clearly won the clearance count in that quarter, 14-5. But the problem for the Crows in that quarter is they kicked the ball at 39%. So they just simply kept kicking it back to Collingwood. Collingwood, like they didn't have a great quarter. They kicked 3 goals. They kicked 3 goals too, so really took their opportunity. But Adelaide simply just kicked themselves out of it. So you think of Rankin 2 out in the fulls from set shots there. Even sort of Dawson, who's had a really good game, he had 6 kicks that quarter, kicked it at 33%. So just kicking the ball back. Like when your prime movers, guys that you expect to finish, whether it's in front of goal or deliver to a teammate, just not there. So credit to Collingwood for applying and lifting that pressure rating in that third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance here, the Crows. Okay, the scoring's dried up a bit, but they're certainly winning enough of the footy that quarter. Clearance and contest, they were right on top. Just got to, you're right, make some better decisions going forward and convert.
Collingwood by 16 as we start the final term, and immediately we'll have another ball up. Up it goes a second time. The rain has stopped for now, and it's still very cold. A third time we'll do it. Still inside the centre circles as Berry is tackled immediately at the feet of the ruckman. O'Brien swats it down straight up the bonds to Pendlebury. Bounces back to O'Brien. Gives it to Laird. Laird slides in. Grabs it. Handball out in front of Dawson. Soccers it in one direction, and then Saligo just bangs it out into space on the wing southern side. Philthorpe, the first one to get there, picks up the ground ball. Oh, got a handball away, but it ends up back with Frampton somehow after the little fumble there from Cumming. Handball to Hoskin Elliott. And smothered by Cumming, and the ball spills out of bounds on that southern wing. Collingwood by 16 points. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Corbin Middlemass alongside Ben Cameron, Ray Chamberlain on the boundary, Adam Rabanaskas and Luke Ball. Just repeating, Taylor Walker subbed out of the game tactically in the third quarter, and Pat Lipinski still unused as the sub for Craig McRae and the Magpies.
Can see him beneath us. Pat Lipinski on the spin bike. Big puffer jacket on. Riley O'Brien soccers it forward up towards half forward Rankin. Clean gather. Gets rid of it to Keys. Kicks to full forward for the Crows. Bursting through Neil Bullen. Leaves it behind. Allows in Josh Dacos. Dump kick across his body. It'll come down inside the defensive 50. Quainer drops it. Rankin flicks it out. Rochelle sidestepping. Handball back to Rankin. Rankin misses the lot. Tight in the pocket. Trying to summon some magic. He couldn't quite. Collingwood with it in their back pocket. They lead by 16 points. 2 minutes played in the final term.
I must admit, there was a little part of me as I bought my Melbourne uniform out today, the black puffer jacket. I thought, oh no, this is it.
Yep,
this is what it is now for the first time since last winter. The ball's knocked out of play now on the southern wing.
I just had a look at the weather forecast. We get back up to 19 next week.
Okay,
balmy, shorts weather.
Well, if there's a 2 in front of it, as Bally said the other week, I'm in the shorts.
Almost
a few more rounds left in you.
Almost an Indian summer. It's just still hanging around, even into the autumn and approaching winter. From the boundary throw in on the wing, Saligo inside 50, juggled effort. Phil Thorpe, no mark, spills down to Rankin. His hand pass straight up and down. Houston knocks it away, and then a clearing kick. Maynard punches it on once. Cox the second time. Collingwood win it on the wing. That'll do. Hoskin Elliott. Hurried kick to centre half forward. Keane first one back. Elliott at the other direction. Knocks it to the advantage of Myercheck. He's tackled straight away, and the tackle well executed. It's holding the ball. I thought it was front on and taken high, but Laird makes sure he held him up. Made sure Myercheck wasn't going anywhere and wins the footy at half back. I didn't have much of an issue with that. Ray Chamberlain?
Yeah, like whether you agree with it or not, the umpire has determined that Myercheck has ducked, and the duck is considered to be your prior opportunity, and therefore you must successfully handball or kick. So that's what's transpired.
Thilthorpe sends the Crows inside 50, overshoots the pack, and Josh Dacos marks.
That makes sense.
That was a half-time conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Josh Dacos moves it onto side bottom, back pocket, kicks to the back flank in Houston. Collingwood ball. Up to the wing, a searching lead from Elliott, and he marks. First goal of his fourth term, simply a must-have for the Adelaide Crows. Elliott, kick to half forward. Membry gathers on the bounce. Handball to Sullivan. Dribbles it towards goal. Bouncing ball. Last line under pressure here. The Crows caught Worrell. Ball just free, and they'll rush it through.
Has he pinned him?
Yep, he's holding the ball.
Holding the ball. Hoskin Elliott's got him.
So he did have a prior opportunity because he fumbled the ball. So then he's tried to dispose of it, and that's he didn't make any contact with the handball. So that's different to Thilthorpe in that third quarter.
I was just saying the Adelaide Crows desperately needed the first of the fourth. It'll come from Will Hoskin Elliott. His second, and Collingwood have kicked the last four. They lead by 22 points. 10-9-69, plays 7-5-47. 4.5 minutes into the fourth. Adam Romanascus and Luke Ball.
Oh, yeah, you feel from him a bit there, Josh Worrell. That's a tough position. Last line of defence, the ground ball, the grubby wet ball coming in. Let's have another look at it. Oh, it's pretty red hot, I reckon. It's pretty red hot. I mean, credit to Will Hoskin Elliott, who worked from the fat side of the ground back to be able to impact the contest. Not sure that's prior opportunity.
Well, I reckon that's hot. He kind of flicked the ball through his, like he picked it up between his legs, which kind of made it look like he had more time. Ray Chamberlain.
Two questions in that contest. First one is the tackle legal? If we tick that off, the next question I want from Ball is, was that a genuine attempt to handball, or did he just pump it out? Which I'm not really sure.
I'm just saying no prior.
He's long, trying to fight through the tackle at the restart. Handball coughs it up. Miller for the Crows, gives it to Hinge. Sweeping hand pass here to O'Brien. His hand pass swatted down, still lands in Adelaide's hands. Hinge takes on one tackler, caught by Sullivan, just got it away. Saligo hacks it off the deck, out to half forward, collected by Fogarty. Hand pass back to the 50. Neil Bullen trying to get it further forward to Rankin. Handballs it out of play and a throw in. But also mentioned too, it had stopped raining. Almost as those words were leaving my mouth. It's triggered another ball. So apologies, Ray and everybody else. It is raining again.
They do need to find the next goal here, the Crows. So in their forward 50 now, they start to work numbers around this contest.
O'Brien and Cox go for a little waltz, trying to work through Rankin, knocks it out to Maynard. He coughs it up. Taylor with the handball away towards Neil Bullen, hooks it back to the goal square. Thilthorpe's there off hands. It's knocked through. 21 points, Collingwood's lead. 6 minutes and change into the fourth.
And Collingwood want to run as Houston takes the mark from the kick out and then chips it along the boundary line, finds Hoskin Elliott. 9 different goal kickers today. Hoskin Elliott, the only multiple goal kicker for Collingwood. 10-9 to 7-6, 21-point buffer. Hoskin Elliott, long contest, kick down the line. Membry flies for it, no mark. Spills down to Cumming. Hand pass back inboard to Saligo. He links up with Hinge, still on the defensive side of the wing. Handball back to Saligo, missed him, and then the Adelaide player clips Pendlebury around the neck. A free kick for the Collingwood veteran. And third all-time in the game's record list. Now hunting Michael Tuck on 4.26, and then it'll be Boomer. 4.32 after that.
Getting nervous, man, Boom.
I had a little conversation with Boomer a couple of weeks ago about this.
Well, Boomer's been training to try and get redrafted, but extend his list a little further.
Either that or has he got the voodoo doll out?
Short kicking game, Pendlebury to Allen to Hoskin Elliott, and now back to Pendlebury, 70 out, right half forward. Collingwood by 21.
That's play on, yeah.
Pendles pokes it short, 7 metres to Maynard, who turns and whacks it long right to the line, and O'Brien reaches over Cox to spoil, punches it through. Collingwood by 22, nearly 8 gone. Fourth term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
So reality is Adelaide have got to find 5 goals in this quarter and hope Collingwood don't score again.
Miller along to the wing. Philthorpe the target. No mark. Slides through his hands. Maynard clever. Just paddles it to the advantage of Quaynor. Kicks back down to half forward. Rankin leaping for it. No mark. Bobby Hill tries to paddle it back to Long and the ball's out of play.
And the most they've kicked in a quarter is 4 in that first quarter.
Yeah.
3 in the first and the second quarter, sorry.
And they've kicked 1 in the second half since it's got wet.
So
they're going to have to make their move soon, the Crows.
Yeah, caution to the wind. You'd feel like they'll take a few more risks, try and access the corridor.
O'Brien, a nice tap down towards Berry, who somehow gets a kick away, and well worked there by the Crows. Taylor gets it out towards Peatling, kicks up to half forward, bouncing ball, Frampton and Fogarty, they're out after it. Philthorpe, clever little toe poke, close to the boundary line. Howe knocks it back for Quaynor, picks it up on the back flank for the Pies, kicks up to the wing, Berry in front, good mark. He's got it for the Crows, beneath the members. Collingwood by 22. Adelaide at least need 4 goals. Rain falling. Kicks inside 50. Philthorpe hands to it. Swatted away there by Quaynor. Onto it Long. Pies in possession. Quaynor's quick kick ricochets back to Rankin. Handball to Philthorpe. He gets it on the left boot. Snaps on goal. And it pitches in play. Throwing coming. Ray Chamberlain.
Movement down here on the boundary. Lipinski warming up. Cox is the player coming out of the game.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Big Mason, 34-year-old, in number 134 today. Mason Cox, first American premiership player, of course. Out of Texas, and the boundary throw-in. Comes down to Long, he's tackled, and more of the ball up, still deep forward for the Crows. Need one here.
Well, it'll have to be something out of nothing. A lot of players around the footy here.
Forward 50 stoppage, top of the goal square for the Crows. O'Brien hooks it down. Sullivan jams it on the boot to half-back. It's out of the attacking 50 now for the Crows, and Myercheck, inadvertent socket to the line. Hump says insufficient intent.
It's been that sort of day for Brody Myercheck. He hasn't had a kick at the footy today, just the 3 handballs. Completed hard.
Hinge kicks it into the forward pocket. Fogarty the target, and Cameron finds the safety of the boundary line. A throw-in forward pocket for the Crows. Collingwood by 22. 11 minutes gone, final term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Don't forget, coming up next, if you're in WA, you will be getting the Dockers game. They play GWS. If you're in the ACT, you're off to the NRL. The Dolphins and the Warriors. For everybody else, it'll be Port Adelaide and Geelong at Adelaide Oval.
Or take your pick on the ABC Listen app as O'Brien slaps it to the back inside 50 for the Crows. Berry dispossessed. Spills out to side bottom. Clear and kick up to the wing. Elliott shoves his man Michael Annie underneath it. Now goes again. Elliott picks it up. And he'll get a high free kick. He stopped as if to say that'll be a high free kick.
He's copped a couple today, Jamie Elliott.
Today, hasn't he?
And he'll get 52, named Purvis.
That's against Peatling. Yeah, protected area.
So Elliott will be marched inside 50. Then can try and put this lead for Collingwood beyond 4 goals.
With the killer blow, you'd think.
Yeah.
It's a good form, Jamie Elliott, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Thought he started the game really well. Had 7 possessions and a goal in that first quarter. Kicked a crucial goal on the 3-quarter time siren. He can probably put the game out of reach here.
Slow approach. Kicking to the punt road end of the ground. Boot to ball, 47 out. It starts left and doesn't swing back. Adelaide live. For now at least. 23 points the margin. 12 into the 4th. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Keane with the kick-out duties. Goes long straight down the pipe, and here's Dawson. What a red-hot start to the game. He's explosive and at his best in the first half. He goes across the ground here. Mark taken by Zach Taylor. He's busy early as well. Heads down to half forward. Soligo marks, and he's held up by Allen. Ball comes out as he's held up.
We're going to get one here, gift.
And that's 50. And Soligo will make it a certainty. And Ed Allen just trying to hold him up, and Soligo very professionally just made sure the footy came out. And Saligo knocks it through. And this game is still alive. Saligo's got a couple. And Collingwood's lead trimmed to 17. 13 gone, final term. The Magpies 10-11-71. Guana, the Crows 8-6-54. Saturday footy on ABC Sport with Bawley and Rama.
Plenty of time, Bawley. So we're not even the halfway point of this quarter. It's still 12 minutes of actual playing time remaining. So that was the one that the Crows needed. Now it just puts the pressure back. So only misses up one end of the ground. Then Adelaide gifted one up the other end of the ground. So just tightens up now. They've got to try find the next one now, the Crows. Take the game into the last 6 or 7 minutes.
I don't have an issue with the 50 either.
That's pretty, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's silly. Yeah, he worked hard for that too, Saligo. Worked really hard.
Couple of Saligo goals, bracket 4 consecutively for the Pies as he gets the clearance as well. And Rochelle, he comes up to mark. 35 out, slight angle to the left. And Saligo has got busy.
Jordan Dawson, that made contact with his foot, that ball.
Yes, though, Saligo, quite first 3 quarters. He's got rolling here. 6 possessions. 4 inside 50s.
Yeah, did make a little bit of contact there, Jordan Dawson.
4 inside 50s, 3 clearances and a goal.
This is a man built for the big stage. Can he deliver on it? No. Oh. That would have really seen the momentum build. Ray Chamberlain.
We talk a lot about the 50-metre penalty and, it's a warranted free kick, but what I can't just never ceases to amaze me is how clean were they moving the ball. Yeah. The Dawson mark, the inboard kick, the exchange and the next kick hits him on the chest despite the conditions. They're unbelievable, these players.
16-point lead for the Magpies. Adelaide trying to get something going as Howe goes long down the wing. Spills to Pendlebury front and centre. Handball to Lipinski, the sub. Works it forward for the Magpies to Crisp. The AFL's Iron Man puts it inside to the veteran in Pendlebury. Kicks from Myercheck, who marks it left half forward, and this could be his moment, Bawley.
Yeah, well, he's worked hard. That's the key. Yeah. So he comes back, missed last week. Had I think it was an abdominal strain, which can be pretty hard work to get over, and hasn't been his day, but it's a great lesson. Keep working, keep presenting, keep putting yourself in the contest, in the game, and you can have a serious impact late here.
This is just his second kick of the day. Halfway through the final term, Myercheck on the drop punt. It's on target. It's there. He makes it count. And Myercheck impacts the game significantly. He's waited all day for that moment. Yes. And it comes halfway through the final term. Collingwood by 22. The Magpies 11-11. They lead the Crows 8-7. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
His second kick, Rammer. His first one was a 5-metre kick off the ground, which was paid deliberate out of bounds. And his second one was an absolute beauty. He's flushed that in heavy conditions. He kicked that 56 metres. Again, just work rate. He was up here on the wing competing and put his head down, worked hard back, and just a bit of class from Pendlebury, wasn't it, in these conditions, to be able to lower his eyes and find a mark.
10 inside 50s to 4 in Adelaide's favour. The 4 inside 50s for Collingwood, they've scored 2 goals too. So Adelaide are doing a lot right in this contest, but in this last quarter, but just got to defend.
O'Brien with the tap. Long goes and picks it up for the team in black and white. Sends them back inside 50. Mark from Butts. Going up. Well, the Crows back with it. 40 out from their defensive goal. And Rochelle miss. Again, just sucked the oxygen out of the balloon. Kick from Butts up towards the logo. Off the hands of the pack. Shoveled out there by Long. Laird goes to pick it up. Under pressure immediately. Gets rid of it to Saligo. He hooks a kick, but underneath it, Darcy Cameron stands tall and bravely and marks. Centre half back for the Pies. Flares a kick out to the sub Lipinski. Hands to it. He doesn't drag in the mark. Perryman slaps it on and Lipinski will pick it up.
Turns, heads down to half forward. Membry the target. One bounce close to the boundary line. He can't trap it, and out it goes. Crowd posted, by the way, 67,697. And it is a disgustingly cold and wet day, and yet these footy fans have turned out again in a great number. What a roll-up for Saturday afternoon footy.
Crowd.
People say Saturday afternoon footy is
it's the best.
Live, well,
particularly on the radio.
Isn't it? It's the best way to take it in every Saturday afternoon. And what a raucous crowd along to enjoy it. It's been a pretty good game of footy. Collingwood by 22. Long hand pass away towards Cameron. Kicks down to half forward. Berry with the fresh legs. Bursts through for the Crows. Pulls his kick back to the wing. Keys the target. Broken up by Frampton. Collingwood winner.
Ends up with Lipinski, who'll snap the ball to half forward. Bouncing ball, Myercheck paddling. Gathered there by Millerup. Crows back in possession. Cumming puts his boot through it. Quaynor comes up. Has a lot of it. Bumped into there by Thilthorpe.
Again, they're just kicking the ball back to Collingwood. Adelaide at the moment.
Quaynor with the kick. Short to Lipinski.
They need to set up better forward of the ball.
Collingwood by 22 points. Lipinski. Forward handball to the run of Maynard. Driving kick towards full forward. Hill goes up in the back. Hoskin Elliott.
He's played it against Hill.
Oh, unrealistic.
Bobby was thinking man of the mark of the year. Oh no, he'll be dirty with that. Will Hoskin Elliott. He could have put the icing on it.
Hinge with the kick to Millerup. He moves it up to the wing and Dawson has it for the Crows.
Got to go now. Take a risk.
Trying to throw caution to the wind as he kicks across the centre square. Mark taken by Rochelle. He rolls and looks inside the forward 50 immediately. Finds Fogarty, who takes the mark back in the corridor. 45 out.
Well, there you go.
It's a Dawson kick.
Yeah, beautiful.
They take
Dawson.
the game on.
One end to the other.
They put that ball beautifully between two Collingwood players, Dawson. And then Rankin, you've been calling for it all day. Just get on with the game.
Darcy Fogarty skips in, true centre half forward, drop punt from 45 out, he's got it. And the door is not yet shut. Brings it back to 16 points as we tick into time on in the final term. A fourth for Fogarty. 16 points, Collingwood's lead, 11-11, 77. And the Crows, 9-7, 61, time on final term.
Well, here's the one, clearly Fogarty inside their forward 50. So how can they isolate him now for the remaining 7 minutes of this quarter? You know, try to manipulate a matchup. So obviously with Tex Walker off the ground, Curtin's gone forward, so there's still a bit of a matchup nightmare for the Magpies. So Maynard looks like he's the one who's with Fogarty at the moment. There's a clear height advantage there, so let's isolate him. He's got the hot hand. Give him the opportunity.
It's a good return, isn't it? On a day like today, 4 goals.
16 points. Time here for the Crows if they're good enough. It'll be difficult. Shoveling out a handball, Darcy Cameron. The players pile onto it. Get another ball up in the middle, just slightly forward of the bullseye for Collingwood.
Another goal in a hurry will make it fun.
Yep. O'Brien taps it down. Peatling bumped off his kick. Allen slaps it away. Curtin goes in. Nick Dacos too. Nick Dacos over it. They all burrow in. Perryman trying to get it out. Curtin too. Nowhere to go. We'll do it again. We're used to the Collingwood number 12 jumper burrowing in and fighting after it. Worn by our very own Luke Ball. They play a little bit of volleyball. Millerup off to Saligo, who's been big in the fourth. Snaps around the wing, looking for Neil Bullen. Bouncing ball. He tries to spike it on. Coming through Peatling. Might have been taken high. He was. Free kick to the Crows on the wing.
It's got a lot of high tackles today, remember, isn't there? Oh. Both ways.
We're going to have 7 against Collingwood.
Yep.
Peatling hand pass to Taylor, fresh on the ground, straight it through the interchange gates, kicks to half forward. O'Brien competes, no mark, falls down to Houston. Oh, handball, a turnover, picked off by Rankin. Hand pass to his mate Rochelle. He needs to hook it through for a goal. He hits the fat part of the footy and sprays it out of bounds on the full.
Little handball there to Saligo.
He's clever though, Rochelle. Watch, he just bobbed out forward of the contest, didn't he, there? Just back that his teammate was going to win it.
Saligo's running straight to goal. Give a handball. He kicks the goal.
They have had their moments. 2 misses for Rochelle, 2 to Rankin in the second half. Collingwood by 16, time on final turn.
That's a Saturday afternoon barbecue. Back inside 50 though, and Dawson flying through the pack. He marks 35 out, 45-degree angle.
That's a good mark.
Isn't it?
Left
He's
forward pocket.
so good above his head. Jordan Dawson.
So we've seen him go forward a bit, haven't we, in recent weeks?
It's his 9th mark of the day. 26 possessions. 7 score involvements. Been the Crows' best. 7 tackles.
Sitting third on the AFL coaches' votes. They need a skipper's goal. The silky left footer has got it. Here come the Crows. Hold the phone, 10 points. That's the deficit. Collingwood lead 11-11-77. Plays 10-7-67. Plenty of time. 5.5 minutes left in this game.
So, Bolly, what the Crows are doing at the moment is they're taking the ball off the line at every opportunity. So that's having them to shift Collingwood's defenders there. Jordan Dawson's standing inside 50 by himself.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where or who his direct opponent was on that occasion. But you can't do that. You can't. That's laziness from Collingwood and their defenders.
Yeah, a little bit of attention to detail. Thinking maybe the game was in their keep. All of a sudden, game on. You're right, Betty. 2 goals, 5 minutes.
Number 35 for Collingwood in his final term.
He's clearly underdone.
Has not had a touch in this final quarter. 10-point lead for Collingwood. Huge moment from Perryman. He jumps on top of it as Curtin goes to soccer it inside 50 and wins a free for kicking in danger. That is a big-time spot for Perryman.
It's great stuff, isn't it?
Just watching Nick Dacos, you mentioned no possessions in this. He just hasn't got the burst and the drive in his legs at the moment.
Perryman to side bottom, kicks a floater down the wing, and Myercheck takes the mark. And there's Nick trotting past. Looking much older than the 22 years he is, as Myercheck with a high ball inside the forward 50. O'Brien's back takes the intercept mark. And a chance for Adelaide. They need to go end-to-end. We're inside the final 5 minutes. Collingwood by 10 points.
Tired legs, but they've got to go, the Crows. Short kick from Hinge. Spots up Taylor. He moves it out wide. Mark taken by Laird. Laird chips it on. Mark taken by Cumming. Backward of halfway on the southern side of the ground, the Crows.
Slow now. Allows Collingwood to set up behind the ball. Cameron down the line.
Coming with the driving ball to a contest. Cameron's there, doesn't mark. Keys picks it up, slapping it out Dawson. In motion, steal the ball. Spills out to Peatling. Half forward here, the Crows. Kicks for Rankin in the pocket. Maynard, great spoil.
It's a great kick by Peatling. Maynard just got there right at that last moment. Didn't take the arms of Isaac Rankin, took the ball straight over the boundary line.
Throwing coming, left forward pocket for the Crows.
Is there a Rankin moment here? At the stoppage from the boundary throw-in, O'Brien wins it down close to the line. Here's Nick Dacos for his first touch of the quarter. It's a handball to Pendlebury, who fumbles. Gee, that doesn't happen too often. Recovers, gives it to Josh Dacos to Nick, kicks out of defence, up to the defensive side of the wing for Adelaide. They win it back through the hands of Laird. Now the kick inside the forward 50. Hand on it from Taylor, no mark. Still right on the 50-metre arc. Collingwood win it back. Houston to Nick Dacos by hand turnover. Phil Thorpe gives it to Saligo. High up and under inside 50. Rankin shoves some bodies out of the way. And there's a free kick before all of that. It's coming back to Zach Taylor.
He's paid the mark. Has he paid the mark or is it a free kick?
It's Zach Taylor's ball.
Right, okay.
And everybody's, I think, got their arms outstretched saying, what was that for? Taylor's going to get it, the 22-year-old. Left half forward. He'll kick from right on 50 to make it a one-score game. Taylor right to the goal line. Hands on it. Still alive. Rush through. As Josh Dacos concedes a behind. Collingwood by 9.
It's better off kicking that ball at the top of the goal square there. He knew he didn't have the distance.
2 minutes 44 to play. Collingwood by 9 points.
See if these experienced heads can run this clock down here, the Pies. So used to seeing them do it.
I just saw the
force a long kick.
Saw the replay ball. I'm not sure about that.
They do it better than just about anyone, but the Crows win it back on the wing. Berry shrugging a tackle, has to get rid of it. Saligo, he'll snap up to the arc. There's a whistle. What's it for?
Too high, back to Berry.
Free kick to the Crows. Berry's waiting for the footy.
The out-of-zone umpire's called that from 50 metres away.
No, he's got to hit this central, Berry. No point in putting it into the pocket.
Exactly.
Can he go to the hot spot?
Hold on.
That's where he does go. A wise kick. Phil Thorpe nearly at the back. Ball comes down for Perryman. He gets rid of it to Maynard, who just clears for distance. Keane can't mark. McCreary's out in space. He slaps it on for Collingwood. He's always played a foot. He missed the soccer. Berry gathers, and the Crows have got it again, but they've got to go.
To Laird and now to Keane. Can he be the man 2 weeks in a row? Short kick to Thilthorpe. Collingwood by 9. Thilthorpe goes long into the forward pocket. O'Brien down there. Fair piece of it. No mark. Close to the boundary line. Josh Dacos involved, and in the end, Maynard knocks it out. The ump says spin it in.
2 minutes remaining. Got to find one here, the Crows. Get numbers away from the contest. Get your mids on the move.
Yeah, watch for Rankin. Watch for Rochelle. They're the two. See if they can't even win a free kick. Force an error from a Collingwood defender.
There's time enough if they're good enough, the Crows. O'Brien down for Rankin in the forward pocket. Slapped on. Rochelle's out after it. Leaves it behind. Lipinski picks it up. Rolled in the tackle. Nowhere to go. And we'll get another ball up. 30 out from the attacking goal here for the Crows.
Clock stops 1 minute 40. That is 100 seconds to decide a winner. Collingwood by 9. Deep forward for Adelaide. Knocked on a few times. Punch further forward by Cumming, but straight to Frampton. Kicks out of defence for the Magpies. Over the top comes Michael Annie. Knocks it to the boundary line and then traps the footy. Picked it from Elliott. Michael Annie back by hand to Millerer. Heads inside 50. Turnover. Perryman takes the intercept mark for Collingwood.
Had some good moments, hasn't he, this last quarter, Harry Perryman?
I think it might be the number boy that's rubbing off on him. Luke Ball's number 12 in that famous locker as he kicks long down the wing. Off hands, spills Adelaide's way. Keane had it, lost it. Membry just picks it from him. Pulls the kick back inboard. Clever one for Collingwood. Finds McCreary. Hand pass to Nick Dacos. Gives it to Maynard. Can he kill the game? 50 seconds to go. Short kick to Lipinski.
Take your 30.
And he marks 40 out left half forward and a chance to ice the game.
It's the fresh legs of the sub. There's a big run from Lipinski. I mean, we know he's an elite runner as it is. Just put his head down. It was about a 150-metre run, as you should do. Fresh legs, that's playing the role. Big ball, wasn't it? Big ball by Memory to win over there on the wing. And that's the ball game.
Tick, 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 tick. 21, 20, 19, 18 seconds. Lipinski with the drop punt. It fades to the left. It's a behind.
Straight up the middle. Have a go.
It's a 10-point game. 11-12 to 10-8. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Collingwood by 10.
The kick in from Keane. Goes right up the middle. Dawson can't take the mark. Spoiled down Lipinski. Rankin pinches it. He's taken high. He'll get a free kick.
50.
Cardiac Collingwood. Still the kings of the close game. As the Crows closed late. Collingwood hold on. They win by 10 points. They're not yet playing this song because of that 50.
Rankin's got a 50-metre penalty. So
they certainly started playing it. I think the Collingwood crowd's gone a cappella.
They are.
Talk coming up.
Rankin's talk. He's got hold of it, but it won't get there. The a cappella version, good old Collingwood. We'll get the full thing now. Got to press the back button on Spotify to go back to the start of her song. 11-12-78 plays 10-8-68. It's an encore. Sing it again.
They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades shout. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
The goal kickers for the Pies, Hoskin Elliott with 2, singles to Elliott, Houston, Cameron, side bottom, Hill, Crisp, Membry, McCreary and Myercheck, who waited all day for that moment. For Guana, the Adelaide Crows, Fogarty with 4, 2 to Saligo, enormous in the 4th, and then singles to Rochelle, Dawson, Walker and Isaac Rankin. Collingwood, they win by 10 points. And again, in a close game, Flyers Pies, they hold off their opponents.
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades shout.
incredible run. So winless now in their last 11 games, Adelaide against Collingwood. It's a run that stretches back to 2016, but it is a run that includes a draw, a result by 5 points, by 5 points, by 1 point, by 2 points, by 4 points, and now by 10. So an incredible set of games, and almost always going Collingwood's way during this run with the draw thrown in. That's as close as Adelaide have got since 2016 against Collingwood. They lorded over them again, the Magpies, by 10 points in an incredible game of footy. 8 lead changes on a cold, wet day at the G in front of over 67,000. What a treat, Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas.
Yeah, it was a really entertaining game. Given the conditions, Ramo, I thought, two really good teams that we think are going to be there at the pointy end of the season, and I thought both lived up to their end of the bargain today. Both had their moments of ascendancy. In the end, Collingwood just handled the bigger moments better. You think about that last 5 minutes of the third quarter, goals were very, very hard to come by for the first 20. And then Collingwood put 3 on in the last 5 minutes of that third quarter. In the end, that's really the difference. And in this last quarter, the Crows certainly had plenty of the footy, didn't they? They had a lot more of the footy, in fact, in their front half. What was it? 19 inside 50s to 8 for only 3 goals to 2. So that's a little bit of the difference in the day. Not that, you can hang that on the Crows forward line. It was probably just a little bit of decision-making and then just taking your moments, those half chances when you get them, which you need to take to win a game in conditions like today. So for mine, Adelaide, Rama, don't lose any admirers on today's effort. I think they certainly can walk off and say that they can mix it with who we think's the best team in the competition at the moment.
Yeah, and I think they'll rue some missed opportunity, really. You mentioned the 19 inside 50s in the last quarter. You've got Rankin kicking it out on the full 3 times today, two from set shots and then another running shot. Last quarter, Rochelle, that's just a little handball to Saligo, where Saligo runs into an open goal, and the margin's then 4 points. So I think Adelaide will rue opportunities where, okay, there's the teaching points, but hey, if we do this, we can win the game. Yep. We can compete with a top 4 team. Collingwood, on the other hand, just professional. Craig McRae talks about them playing the minutes, and they played the minutes in that last quarter. They were able to weather 19 inside 50s and only allow 6 scoring shots. So we saw the ball just living in Adelaide's forward half in that last quarter. They were trying to take the ball off the line, but Collingwood defended unbelievably well. Paulie mentioned the conditions, and it's as the rain comes down again at the MCG. But the first half, Collingwood were handball happy. Second half, they started to kick the ball. They start to get a better result. So you look at the last half alone, it's 5 goals to 4 in Collingwood's favour. So they play the moments, play the minutes. They did it really well in that last quarter. Collingwood, they deserve the win. Again, it's one of those ones where you go, yep, tick the box, let's move on. Let's continue to push forward into this season. Adelaide, on the other hand, they get back to Adelaide, learn from the mistakes of today, but understand that if we can iron out those little mistakes, we can compete with the top 4 of this competition.
They just get contributions, Collingwood, don't they, from across the board, just at different stages. I mean, no real standout today. Look at the numbers, Dacos boys, leading possession getters. Oh, Josh was terrific in the first half. I thought he really set it up for them. Nick, we know he doesn't look quite right, does he? He kept trying as he does, we know that, but didn't have his usual impact on the game. But Maynard was strong coming back into the team. You scan all the way down there. Perryman had some big moments, didn't he, in that last quarter. McCreary, only 12 possessions, but an impact on the game. Hoskin Elliott, 11 possessions, 2 goals, impact on the game. Memory had some moments. And then even Myercheck, who had a pretty dirty day, bobs up and kicks the goal just to give him the breathing space. So that's what good sides do, don't they? That's what experienced sides do. They don't rely on a handful or 1 or 2 individuals. And, a day like today where you do need a contribution across the ground, when conditions are tough, it's when they come to the fore. They were terrific.
Collingwood now 8-2 on the season. Adelaide, their record falls to 6-4. It's been an emotional day for the footy world, and Collingwood have certainly been hit by that as well, with Scott Selwood, their assistant coach, not there today after the tragic death of his brother Adam overnight, and Craig McRae quite emotional afterwards. He's got little Maggie in his arms at the moment, his youngest daughter, and he makes his way into the rooms where Ray Chamberlain is. What can you see down there, Ray?
It's great to hear you today, Corbin. Thanks very much for checking in, mate. I tell you what, I can see down here is a really a buoyant and obviously they're a happy team at Collingwood having the win, but subdued, and as you intimated, lots of family. The players have all got their kids in the circle, and definitely Craig McRae's shoes have stolen the show as well today. A hush for the kids.
Happy bunch in the Collingwood rooms. We'll come back to you, Ray, shortly. The votes to come in the ABC Footballer of the Year. If you're in the ACT, you'll be off to the NRL. For everybody else, footy continues on ABC Radio. In WA, it is the Dockers and the Giants. And for everybody else, you'll be going to Adelaide Oval. I know the Selwood news that were tossing up this morning, Collingwood, about whether they were going to tell their players or not. I'm not so sure they did. There were no black armbands obviously worn by the group to be able to give them the game. And this is something we don't ordinarily see with Collingwood, but immediately they all walk in to the meeting room. So they're about to be addressed by Craig McRae, who I obviously just saw him on Fox Footy a moment ago, but I was told this morning he was very emotional when he heard the news, as I'm sure a lot of people have been connected to the footy fraternity after the tragic news of Adam Selwood's death. But certainly Collingwood rocked by it, as the footy community has been, and with Scott Selwood, an assistant coach, quite obviously absent today. 8 lead changes, Collingwood by 10 points full-time here at the MCG. If we can get some reaction, we will, before we're off air in the next 5 minutes or so. Obviously, if not, we'll record that and flick it through. The votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year before we get out of here. Don't forget the ABC Listen app. You can download that for free through your app store, and you can toggle between the games if you want to choose which match you'd like to listen to.
Well, Collingwood win the game, but I only give 2 Adelaide players a vote. So I gave 1 to Darcy Fogarty for his 4 goals. I thought he was clearly the most dominant forward on the ground for both teams. I gave 2 to Josh Dacos for his 29 possessions. I thought, as Bally mentioned, really good in the first half, but quite solid for the entirety of the day. I thought the best man on the ground today was Jordan Dawson, 27 possessions, 8 tackles, 9 marks, 500 metres gained and a goal. He was nearly able to drag his team over the line. So 1 to Fogarty, 2 to Josh Dacos, 3 to Jordan Dawson.
And that's, it's a good sign, isn't it? Again, we were just mentioning that before. I just thought Collingwood probably had greater contributions across
overall,
the board. Yeah, and then again, that's the sign of a really good team. No admirers lost from my point of view for Adelaide. I think they're a really good team. I think they're a top 6 team. They're going to be hard to beat. But in the end, it was just Collingwood maybe handling those moments a little bit better, which is, we've come to expect from this team.
They meet again round 23.
Oh, beautiful.
In Adelaide. Which
Collingwood's record in Adelaide is unbelievable.
Yes, which that's right on the eve of the finals, of course, in the penultimate round. So can't wait to see that. The next assignment for Collingwood is next Saturday at Docklands. Bit of a quirk with the fixture, Bally. There's 2 games at Docklands next Saturday. So we're there at 12:30.
The early one?
For Carlton GWS, and then the Magpies play that night. It's a double-header at the same venue.
Yeah.
So they're going to clear them all out.
Any reason why?
Clean the stadium? I have no idea.
Sort of snuck through that one in the fixture, isn't it?
Not Corbin, who's a fixture watcher.
That's why I'm waiting for the. No, you haven't got anything for us.
I don't have an explanation as to why.
We gather roundish, isn't it?
Is the MCG not available? This Friday night at the MCG.
Almost like in the COVID days, I think we had the odd double-header at the same venue, but. Unusual, given they've got to clean the stadium, get everyone in, everyone out. The car parking, I want to book your ticket early to make sure that's A-OK. So that is Collingwood and North Melbourne next Saturday night. After Carlton and GWS will play during the day. And Adelaide's next stop is back at home against the West Coast Eagles on Sunday. Hi, guys. Fran from Melbourne. Go the Pies, enjoying the call. Hoskin Elliott is a staple. He flies under the radar. Thanks, Fran. Nice to hear from you. Razor from Rockingham, Saturday Arvo footy is always the best on ABC Sport. We love those. Thanks, Razor. Joanna from Middle Park, listening whilst walking in Spain. Gee, that's a pretty good way to take it in. Barracking for the Pies and loving the ABC call. Luke Ball, always been a favourite. There you go. You got Joanna
Spain. Okay.
Raw Live from Adelaide. I wore Explorer socks cut off at the ankle. Thick in the shoe, but light on the water soak-up. So this is obviously to try and prevent blisters, which we were chatting about a little bit earlier. An old legend trader at our club taught me about wearing stocking socks, inside socks, to avoid blisters.
Yeah, a double sock. Yeah, I tried that too. Yeah.
Yep. Did that work?
Nothing really worked, to be honest, Benny.
You're a big blister sufferer, are you?
Yeah. Soft skin.
Ken from Sandringham, hi Corby, Ben, Roma Bawley and Razor Ray. Great call and excellent special comments, especially enjoying the explanations by Razor Ray of the rule idiosyncrasies as they happen on the field. Ben, how did the birthday celebrations go?
Ice cream cake.
Very well. Got out the ice cream cake late at night. Nope, had a nice steak during the day and then went out for dinner as well. So very good day.
Double up. Yeah.
Corby even shouted. I didn't realise the T-Rex, his arms reached his pockets, but there we are.
That's very good. I like that by Benny. One of his funnier jokes.
It's a bloke that never pays for anything. He's dishing that kind of critique out. 67,697 is the attendance. A 10-point win for Collingwood here at the MCG. Look how happy he is. He's got a laugh. He's just chuckling away. Let me just go and get my needle and thread as I sew my sides up after that one. No late change in the two twilight games. So in Sydney, it is Harvey Thomas and Bailey Banfield who will be the subs for the Giants and the Dockers, and it's Christian Moraes and Mitch Duncan who are the two subs between Port Adelaide and Geelong, which is our next stop. We were hoping for a cracker. We've had a couple of blowouts on Saturday afternoon, and fair to say, Bawley, this one delivered. 8 lead changes, and in the end, the Magpies home by 10. Yeah,
I love a good wet weather game of footy too, just to change it up. We're pretty lucky, haven't we? Ray's been pretty lucky in his first 9 weeks behind the fence. He's been able to sit there in the sun and catch some vitamin D, but today it was real Melbourne winter footy, wasn't it? And both teams lived up to their end of the bargain. Good game.
Thanks for stopping by.
It's cool. See you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks to Stuart Hollywood-Baker. Thanks to Ray Chamberlain. We'll get him to record an interview and send it through to us from the victorious Magpies rooms. A 10-point win for Collingwood. Thanks to Ben Cameron, to Craig Davis back in the studio. We are signing off from the MCG. If you're in the ACT, it's the Dolphins and the New Zealand Warriors in the NRL. For everybody else, the footy. In WA, the Giants and the Dockers. For everyone else, the Power and the Cats.